Sabina Mtsweni, she's the MMC. Pumzile Nguni, she's also the MMC. Sina Maja, she is the District Commissioner of Nkangala. Councillor Mukhadi Mashishi, oh, that one is important. She's the Deputy Chairperson of the Multi-Party Women's Caucus. That is my structure. And she's got such an important committee that she's chairing. She's the chairperson of finance and LED. I want to hear the woman becoming entrepreneurs, since you are the chairperson of that very important committee of LED, local economic development. Councillor Elizabeth Maleka, she is also the chairperson of social development in the municipality. Councillor, is it Besia of Desia? Desia Kikai. Serious. Councillor Anna Maleka. Maleka, see your family there. Councillor Kate Mabukhwane. I didn't get the speaker's name. Okay, no, I know Sophie is the chairperson of the Multi-Party Women's Caucus. I told you it's my structure. I can't introduce the Speaker of the municipality now because she have already stood here and she's spoken to you. Am I correct? So you are the one that is most welcome because you have welcomed all of us. So I hope I haven't left anyone out. If at all I have, can you please stand up so that the people can welcome you properly? Even the leadership of the police, because they are very important in our women's agenda. Okay? All of you are satisfied that we have introduced everyone.
Let them stand up, the MMCs, Pumzile and Mtsweni and Mnguni. They have been. Yes. They have been. Thank you.
Some of us are the same age, so it's fine. We are the same age. I can tell you the honest truth. I can stand with my phone and ask the children, where is my phone? Where is my phone? So that is the thing. But we are also with a big team of parliament. We will not introduce them. You have seen Ma'am Munchu, she's here for leading communications. And also, you have seen there is a lady with a very beautiful dress. She's leading the Deputy Chairperson's office. But all of us, at the end of the event, we will introduce them or we will just recognize them. Let us continue with our program. From time to time, there will be translation. Other things don't need translation, but other things need to be clarified a little bit more. So now we will call on Commissioner Ntuli Klubatla so that she can come and make the input on behalf of the Commission on Gender Equality. Very important. Over to you, Commissioner.
Program Director, on behalf of the Commission for Gender Equality, we welcome the invitation to be part of this August event and we respect NCOP a lot based on the work that you do towards the advancement, development, and empowerment of our societies. You are practical in your approach and in everything that you are doing. Thank you very much, Honorable Lucas, with the team, the MPs that are here from Parliament, from the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, provincial government, national departments that are the sister departments, district municipalities, and all protocol observed. I come from the Commission for Gender Equality, which is a Chapter 9 institution. When you go to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act number 108 of 1996, you learn more about the Commission. As a Commission, we have a responsibility. We are a state institution that supports constitutional democracy in this country. We are accountable to the law and the Constitution. We are referred to as the watchdogs of South Africa. That is who we are. But to know more deeper about us, go to the CGE Act number 39 of 1996, where you will learn about the constitutional mandate of the Commission for Gender Equality, which is to promote, protect, and respect for gender equality. How do we do that? Sikwenza njani ukuthi sikhuthaze, sihloniphe ukulingana kobulili kwabesilisa nabesifazane. Sikwenza ngokuthi siyenze i-research, si-investigate, siyi-commission, sinamandla ngokulobisha futhi siyi-commission, okunye sikwenze siyi-commission futhi sinamandla ngokwenza what we call litigation. We do that as a commission. As a commission, we also have the power to do what we call amicus curiae in court, us being friends of the court in advancing our rights of people. We do a lot as a commission. We also have the power to subpoena both the private and the public sector in an event there isn't a transaction that has taken place. As the Commission for Gender Equality, we pride ourselves with a lot of work that we have done. I won't dwell much into it, but some of the activities, you will see them when I zoom directly to the Women's Charter and the 12 articles of the Women's Charter. But there's one thing I need to emphasize here, because sinabantu abangama-gender implementers nama-gender activists. So ngizobala some few things that are important that we need to do if we are committed in addressing our inequalities, issues of poverty, issues of unemployment and underemployment of women. These are the specific things that we need to do, both administratively and both socially, in our communities as a whole. That's when we will say there is total emancipation of women, there is advancement of women to management and leadership position. There are specific things that we need to do as activists and also as implementers and also those that are responsible with the oversight role. We work as a team and we work as a collective towards gender transformation. Number one, gender transformation is very important. I won't explain it. It's all about change. Gender mainstreaming is very important. It's all about saying when you plan in your finance department, use your gender lens, be gender sensitive. When you are dealing with HR imperative, use your gender lens, be gender sensitive. When you deal with issues of budgeting, issues of advancement to senior management, because you always put your gender lens. That's what we call, in short, gender mainstreaming. I'm happy Honorable Lucas spoke about gender responsive budgeting. You can't achieve gender equality without a gender responsive budgeting. You can't achieve it also without financing for gender equality, which is a United Nations 2011 declaration in that particular regard. We have to do that. gender indicators, they are very important because gender indicators, it's a whole lot, it's a basket. You must have employment equity targets. I will leave those challenges there, but we are available in our offices when you need advice on this particular matter. I want to talk about something that is very important, the importance of policies. As a country, as South Africa, we have very beautiful policies as a country. At the United Nations, we are hailed as a country that has the best legislation. Look at our constitution. Chapter 1 of our constitution talk about our founding principles, our national anthem, our flag, citizenship, to name a few. Our chapter 2 is excellent. It talks about equality. It talks about human dignity. Chapter 3, it gives guidance to cooperative government and interdepartmental government. Our constitution is clear. You go to chapter 9 of the constitution yet, you learn more about chapter 9 institutions, about human rights, about IEC, about public protector, to name a few. Then you go to the last chapter of our constitution, which is chapter 14, which talks about the general matters, international cooperation. Asisebenziseni the constitution yethu. Singachazwa ukuthi ihleli. I will just quote a few legislations without explaining them that are important towards gender equity. There's a lot of noise. Now I'm coming to the issue lesithi amalungelo. Now vane ukhala ngamalungelo wakho. We are talking about who protects amalungelo wakho. Imithetho isisekelo ekhona ezweni. So ngifuna ukungisharela ngemithetho ebalulekile ekumele insize emphakathini wethu. Number 1 is the Domestic Violence Act and its related matters. Kune gender violation enkulu that is taking place in our communities. Let's know about that act. Let us know also about the Employment Equity Act number 55 of 1998. Ikhuluma nge-advancement iti a minimum of 50% women mele baye senior management, a minimum of 2% yabantu abakhubazekile mele baye at that level. Sine Skills Development Act number 66 of 1998. It talks about skilling and the reskilling of our workforce. These legislations are there to assist us as communities. Our Sexual Offences Act, among other things, and its related matters, it's one of them. Our Preferential Procurement Act, eminye yemithetho enenza lihlomule kwezomnotho ni umphakathi. Kube ne-prioritization yabantu besifazane, abantu abakhubazekile, nabantu abasha, nakuphuma ama-opportunities we-procurement. There is a legislation that is protecting you there. So I just want to zoom in now to what has the commission, no, just before I go there, Honorable Lucas, I need to emphasize with you the good work that you are doing on the Women's Charter. It's very important. The Women's Charter is strategic and it's relevant, and it's one of our oldest protocols and charters that we have. Remember, it talks about issues around media, about culture and tradition, about education and training, about violence, about infrastructure, to name a few. When you go to the Beijing Platform of Action, which was adopted in 1995, the Beijing Platform of Action has 12 critical areas of concern. Those 12 critical areas of concern: women and health, women and housing, women and education, women and armed conflict, the plight of the girl child, gender-based violence. They tap in to the Women's Charter, and that was 1995. You go, remember we used to have the 8 SDGs. They were replaced in 2016 by the 17 Millennium Development Goals. They speak the same language as the Women's Charter. What I'm doing now, I'm just giving you an analysis and a comparative study, which is something we do in Mpumalanga with my team. About Teresa, about Malta, and everybody else. We sit down and we are doing a comparative study. Yeah, bon. The only that is slightly different, Guma SDGs, it also talks about the marine world. And the marine world is an environment. Beijing talks about the environment. The Women's Charter talks about it. Are we not signatories to Imaputo gender protocols that were signed in 2003? They speak the same language as the Women's Charter. Are we not signatories to the SADC gender protocol that was signed in 2008? We are. It speaks the same language as the Women's Charter. This document is important. This charter is strategic. If we implement the Women's Charter, there will be total emancipation of women. There will be advancement of women. And all the critical areas that continue to sabotage the progress and the advancement of women towards the attainment of gender equality, which is very important for us, the Commission for Gender Equality, as a Chapter 9 institution. We have a solution that we are not using, which is the Women's Charter. Now I will go and explain to you. Remember, the Women's Charter have 12 articles. Out of those 12 articles, I will share with you what is it that Mpumalanga province has done in each specific article. I will be short and to the point, but NCOP, they do have the document. We have emailed it. Article number 1 talks about equality. Ne? In line with our constitutional mandate as the Commission for Gender Equality, we requested information as part of our monitoring role to the Office of the Premier Special Programs in Mpumalanga. It said that we struggled as the Commission for Gender Equality to get this report from Mpumalanga, Office of the Premier. We ended up putting them on Mora, which later eventually led to a subpoena. After the subpoena, we managed to get the report from the Office of the Premier Special Programs, but sadly, the report is not assisting much. It is still under analysis. I won't talk much about it, but it's safe to say Mpumalanga provincial government is not meeting their employment equity target based on what we have. Then also, the Office of the Premier was mandated to report on provincial government management positions, how many persons with disabilities, how many women, youth are accessing these opportunities. The picture is not good. The minimum of 50% is not met for women. The minimum of 2% for persons with disabilities, it ain't happening. Also under Article 1, we also monitored Mpumalanga provincial government on the Gender Equality Strategic Framework, which is a product of DPSA, which was launched and adopted in 2008. I won't say much about this because we are still working with it, but it's safe to say, in line with the report that we have from DPSA, the compliance of the Gender Equality Strategic Framework and the 8 Principles Plan of Action, it's not flying in Mpumalanga. It's only 3 departments that are making an attempt in implementing this. That is DEDET, that is agriculture, safety is trying, others via Tontela, it's not enough, but DEDET and Department of Agriculture are consistent. They implement this every year. And this is a matter for concern because when we drafted this equality framework, I was part of the process. We said we are giving women an opportunity to be Ochalot Matlege. When they are up there, let them lift other women up. We were giving the struggle to women. And the Office of the Premier here as the nerve center of provincial government that have a mandate to coordinate, monitor, advise, and support line department, districts, and local municipality, which is inclusive also of a private sector. I don't know what's happening. Maybe one day they'll report and make us aware. But based on what we have on record, angeke ngiwabale lama 8 principles, ningawathola naku Google. Then article number 2, under law and the administration of justice. As the Commission for Gender Equality, there are cases where sexual offenses that we monitored and we are still monitoring in the province. And also we have a program that we call SAPS Oversight Visits, where we visit 4 Yama police stations in Mpumalanga every month across the province. I will summarize this by saying, the victim-friendly rooms are just a compliance matter in many police stations. The way they look, the way they are, you can see that they are not being used. And what is happening with the dignity of the survivors and the victims. Our report also talks about the backlog on DNA cases as the Commission for, DNA results. As the Commission for Gender Equality, this needs to be fast-tracked for one reason only. If there is no DNA evidence to convict perpetrators, what is happening to the survivors and the victims? This needs to be fast-tracked as a matter of agency. Also, we do support, as the Commission for Gender Equality, victims and survivors of gender-based violence. They do drop into our offices for assistance. Families that have femicide victims abaye bashona due to EGPV, they drop in our offices. We do help and assist a lot. Yeah, number 3, is economy. We have reported, we have done sterling work on the economy as the Commission for Gender Equality in Mpumalanga. Under education and training, legal clinics, engagement with House of Traditional Leaders, gender mainstreaming, workshops conducted. Under Article 5, development and infrastructure and the environment, we have also done something here in Mpumalanga, and we have a very good relationship with the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. We are proud of the work that we deal with them in issues relating to Article number 5. Social services, the issues of shelters, there's work that we do there, and a lot is in the report. And then Article 8, family life and partnership. We run our sessions on marriage, inheritance, customary laws, issues of divorce, to name a few. Article number 9, there's a lot that we have done on custom, culture, and religion. Article number 10, there's a lot on culture. It's a total of 3 to 4 slides. Article number 10 is gender-based violence. We have done something. Under health, we are having a project that we are busy with where we visit our maternity wards. It's an ongoing work. It's something that the commissioners within the Commission for Gender Equality came up with as a process of assisting. Article number 12, the issue of the media. We have done work there also as the Commission for Gender Equality. And thank you very much to the Mpumalanga team and the team at head office in Bramfontein and the collective of commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we know you promised to be more too long. Thank you very much. I think we really need to commend the Commission on Gender Equality in Mpumalanga and also for the work that was done by the Commission on the issues of the comparative analysis. It was very good because sometimes it seems as if we are just speaking, but we don't know what we are speaking about. And it's clear, we are clear and we are focused as the women of South Africa in terms, or the women of the world in terms of what we want to achieve. So we are in line with what is happening worldwide, and thank you very much, Commissioner Ntuli Tlubatla. I want to see that report. It's very good. Thank you. I don't know whether Honorable Nkosi have joined us. She was supposed to join us so I will give you around 5 minutes just to summarize.
Usihlalo ke ubonga uma uNanduli 1 2 Usihlalo ke ubonga umhlonishwa uNanduli ovela kwiCommission yeGender Equality. Uma ke ukhe wahlathulula ezinye zezinto eziqhakathekileko ngokuphathelele nekhambiso yokuhelebha bomma njengombana abaqalane nemraro yokuhlunguphazwa nokuphathwa kumbi. Wabuye wabonisa ukuthi ke umma lo lapha kwisifundazwe laseMpumalanga kusanombereko omkhulu okufuze wenziwe ngokuphathelele ke ukwazi ukuthi ke iziziphi izinto okufanele ukuthi abomma bazazi basebenzise nemithetho ekhona. Kunama chapter lakhe wawafunda kusukela kwi-chapter yokuthoma bewafikelela kwi-chapter yaka 12 lapha ewabonisa khona ukuthi ke sebakhambe ibanga elingangani ukwenzela bonyana abomma bakhona ukuthi ke basizakale kwimraro ekhona abaqalane nayo. So ke usihlalo ke ukhe wamthokoza ngombereko abawenzako oqhakathekileko nanje ufuna ukuthi akwazi ukuthi ke aragele phambili nomsebenzi lona omuhle awenzako.
Thank you very much to our language specialists because it assists us to come closer to one another in terms of our issue of providing for language. We have got our sign language practitioners, and also we've got, I think we've got at least 3 different languages that we can, 2. That is Sepedi and Izindebele. Fine. So the next one will be in another language. We are now going to give over to the Finance and Fiscal Commission. I really want to, I'm not apologizing because service providers are getting paid and they must do what they are supposed to be doing. And it seems as if we have a technical issue. But I hope Dr. Mbaba will be able to present on Monday because it is a very important presentation, just like the one of CGE, on the issue of how the budget is being used to make sure that it is disaggregated and it is in terms of gender specifics. Everyone is benefiting from the budgets of the province. It's over to the Finance and Fiscal Commission, and I hope we won't have a technical problem again. continue. Doctor, it sounds like Nomonde.
I think we're not audible on Monday.
You are?
I can't hear
you
a
are
thing.
here. You are here, Chair, sorry.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I am here. I wanted to just give an opening address and then you
Yes,
can continue.
please. Yes, please.
But I'm not sure if we are audible
You are
to the
audible.
audience.
Okay, let me just call the lady as well.
You can hear them. You are audible. You may continue. Sebu, inform them that they are audible. No Monday?
Oh, okay, they can hear. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. The Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Honorable Sylvia Lucas, Honorable Masilela, Speaker of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, the members of the Provincial Parliament, executive mayors which are present, the Commission for Gender Equality, Commissioner Tlubata, the women of the Mpumalanga province, and all South Africans. I greet you warmly during this Heritage Month. Watinda bafazi, watinda mbogoto, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. Chairperson, today we continue to take stock of the achievements gained since 1994 and to assess the systematic weaknesses that continue to impede the advancement and realization of socioeconomic rights and gender equality in South Africa. We must do that because it has been said, if something is not monitored and evaluated, it will not get done. And therefore, we need to hold government accountable to its commitments on gender equality. Only when we know where the gaps are, can we be able to make concrete policy legislation and implementation proposals to close the gap. Because as you have rightly pointed out, Honorable Lucas, we are on course, but we are not there yet. We need to remove historical, structural, institutional, and cultural barriers to the realization of gender equality in South Africa. It will be a decisive victory and substantive progress for the women of this country in all provinces, metros, and districts when budgets and fiscal tools that address gender parity are institutionalized in the entire intergovernmental fiscal relations system. Of course, today we assess the Mpumalanga provincial government's progress in this regard. We assess the current provincial development plans and provincial strategic plans to assess whether planning is done with a gender lens. We also look at budget allocations for selected departments, specifically the provincial education, health, and social development, to find out how spending allocations has been done in these departments. In terms of our presentation today, Chairperson, our presentation will briefly look at the role and function of the FFC, the importance of gender budgeting, the Women's Charter for Accelerated Development, key aspects of that, and then we'll also look at the research that we have done as the FFC. Next slide, please. The Financial and Fiscal Commission, as you have rightly pointed out, Chairperson, we do focused research. As a commission, we aim to provide proactive, expert, and independent advice on promoting the intergovernmental fiscal relations system using evidence-based policy analysis to ensure the realization of constitutional values. The Commission reports directly to Parliament and the provincial legislatures who hold government institutions to account. There are legislations that we specifically are mandated to look at: the equitable share and allocation of revenue, government guarantees, provincial taxes, municipal fiscal powers and functions, provincial loans, and municipal loans. In terms of the Act, Chairperson, government must consider the recommendations of the FFC before enacting any of these legislation into law. Next slide, please. Chairperson, despite the commitments that have been made, there remains unacceptable gender inequalities in South Africa. These gender commitments should be translated into fiscal commitments in all spheres of government. As we know, budget is one of the essential tools to achieve gender equality and gender equity. This use of the budget to achieve gender equality, as my colleague has already pointed out, is gender responsive budgeting. Gender responsive budgeting is about deliberately making intergovernmental fiscal relations system responsive to the needs of women and contributing to moving women out of poverty. It is about gender-sensitive resource allocation. It is not a new budget or a separate budget for women, but rather the integration of gender approaches into all stages of the budget cycle. As we all know, it has been said that if something is not monitored or evaluated, it will not get done. And therefore, we need to analyze the budgets to make sure that the commitments which have been made are indeed being done. Next slide. So I want to now just highlight that empowering women through the budget is critical, because the budget is not only the right thing to do, but we know that we need all parties to be involved, because half the team playing is not efficient. We need everyone to be part of the solution. Therefore, I want now to move to the next slide, which will look at the research that was done by the FFC into this matter, and then give some insights as to what was found, and then also give some research findings on the current status of the Mpumalanga province when it comes to allocating budget that speaks to the needs of women. Thank you so much, Chairperson. Over to you, Nomonde.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. I will just take you through that. Also, FFC in 2021, 2022, in its commitment to doing research on gender inequalities, it did a study where it addressed gender inequality through gender budgeting in the public sector, and we made some recommendation. In the main, the study assessed the effectiveness of key departmental budgets in addressing gender equality commitments, as well as the adequacy of our policies and legislation. Some of the findings of the study that we did was that there is limited mainstreaming of gender issues in departmental budget processes. And the main reason for this is that departments generally lack gender disaggregated data and information to implement gender responsive planning, which should be followed by budgeting as well as monitoring. Also, the lack of gender disaggregated data hinders the effective translation of gender commitments into budget. As our previous speakers have said, gender responsive budget is difficult, if not impossible, to undertake without a plan so as to engender the service delivery programs. Also, what we found in the study was that gender disaggregated information could be found in other domains or within the working knowledge of the departments, but such information is not integrated into the strategic documents of departments so as to allow gender responsive budgeting processes. Next slide, please. Here, our chair has talked about this. Can you skip the slide, number 7 and number 8, which is about planning and monitoring? And then let's go to slide 9. Yes, thank you. Here, when we analyzed the Mpumalanga province, we actually looked at the provincial development plans and documents, and we selected 3 departments, which is education, health, and social development, as these departments deliver key services and they account for the about 70 to 8% of government expenditure. We know the role that education, health, social development play towards women empowerment and emancipation. We also looked at program performance of the selected departments and assess or checked if gender is disaggregated, if the data, is gender disaggregated. Next slide. Looking at the Office of the Premier, the plans in the Mpumalanga province, indeed, the Office of the Premier highlights its fulfilling role in terms of it takes into account the national and provincial mandates, which are the national and provincial medium-term strategic framework and the national strategic framework for the Department of Women, Children, and People with Disabilities, specific national policy frameworks on gender and women's empowerment, disability, as well as the National Development Plan. The FFC commends this approach by the Office of the Premier and the province in catering the vulnerable groups of the society in its strategy and plans. And the FFC is of the view that the Office of the Premier and the province should oversee that their strategy that they have stated and the plans expand on its gender responsiveness and have explicit gender priorities and indicators across its priorities as per the medium-term strategic framework of 2019 to 2024. Next slide. What we found also in the Office of the Premier, it also has 3 programs. The one program that we like to highlight more, which we think it will, if it can be looked further, it can enhance what the office is doing, is program 3, which is policy and governance. This program, it's about provincial planning, implementation of provincial programs, the mainstreaming of gender, youth, and older person. Also, in this program, there is also integrated policy priorities on mainstreaming of women empowerment and gender equality, youth, older persons' rights into provincial government programs, which are reported as an output indicator, which with targets set for the program. In its strategic planning, the office also adopted the following outcomes: the implementation and mainstreaming of programs on the empowerment and development of youth at 30%, people with disability at 7%, and women at 50%, which
Amanzi
also
akangezitshata, amanzi
should
layo
be
siyabawa.
monitored. The office commends this approach by the Office on the Policy and Government Programs with the outputs and target sets, which also caters for the vulnerable groups. The FFC commends the office on these initiatives and is of the view that this program, while monitored, they should also be evaluated and audited in order to realize the targets that have been stated, including disaggregating the information by gender so as to measure the impact, as it also, this program talks about youth, older persons. So this information should also be disaggregated so as to see the impact. Next slide. As I've highlighted earlier, we picked 3 departments, which is social development, health, and education, in terms of the allocations for 2021-2022, the allocation share of the budget. In terms of the social development, the program that takes the largest chunk is the children and families in the province at 33%, followed by the social welfare services at 19%. The Commission welcomes the increased allocation in these 2 programs, given the critical role they play in protecting the vulnerable groups as well as the older persons, while providing social relief to the needy. However, when this program are disaggregated further, we found that care and services to families receive the least shares at 10%, yet they play a significant role in terms of preventing social ills faced by the society. Also, the social development also has a restorative services as well as development and research program, which takes the least shares at 13% and 14%. Yet this program do provide services related to crime prevention, victim empowerment support to the vulnerable groups, and support poverty alleviation programs. Next slide. In terms of program achievement on social development, the Commission welcomes the department reporting on this program performance in all its programs as well as the number of beneficiaries. However, the Commission notes that the department does not disaggregate this information in terms of gender. If we can take, for example, the care and support to families, the department will say how many people it targeted. However, this information is not gender disaggregated. For gender mainstreaming to take effect fully, this information needs to be disaggregated by gender, as program budgets are not neutral, but they affect women and men differently. Next slide. When we look at the education program, public ordinary school, as we have envisaged, it takes the largest percentage share allocation of the budget in the province at 80%, which is followed by infrastructure at 5%. We are of the view that the department or the province is on the right track, as its mandate is to provide education from grade 1 up to grade 12. When we disaggregated the public ordinary school program further, we found that school sport, culture, and human resource development receive less share, which is less than 1% in this program. Also, we disaggregated the infrastructure program further, and we found that the largest chunk is taken by the public ordinary school at 97%, with only 3% left for infrastructure in the public special schools. Also, other programs in the Department of Education are the public service special schools, as well as the early childhood development, which receive the least shares at 2% and 3% respectively. The commission is concerned about this program receiving the least shares. We are of the view that this is not in line with inclusive education vision, which needs to include vulnerable groups of the society, as well as ensure that there's access to early childhood learning for all learners. Also, in terms of the public special schools, we know that they are the vulnerable learners with severe barriers to learning, that require more resources and support, yet they receive the least shares at 2%, while the early childhood development caters for preschool education. It also receives the least shares, yet it also create opportunities for women to find jobs elsewhere. We are of the view that also this needs to be looked further by the department. Next slide. In terms of program achievement in 2021-22 on education, the department does indeed report on program performance measures and targets in the province. The commission is of the view that the department can streamline this information further by gender, so as to be able to measure, for instance, the number of learners benefiting from no fiscal. The department will indicate the numbers that, let's say in 2021-22, more than 60,000 learners benefited from the scholar transport program, but would like this information to be disaggregated by gender, so as to be able to see the impact, so that if there are intervention needed, they can be checked earlier. Next slide. The next slide, number 8, yes, that one. In health, we looked at also health, which is the last sector. We found that the district health services absorbed the largest budget share at 62%, followed by the health facilities management at 11%. The FFC welcomes the largest share in these programs, given the services that they render in terms of providing for primary health care, community-based services, nutrition, maternal, child, and women's health. However, when we disaggregated the district health services program, we found that the community-based services and nutrition programs score at less than 0.0%. And this is a concern, as these services affect greatly the vulnerable groups. Also, other programs in the health science and training, as well as the healthcare support. They also receive the least shares in the program at 3% and 2%. Yet these programs provide assistive devices, which are orthotics and prosthetics, which vulnerable groups have access to and is of great importance to them, including medicine and equipment, while also the training of health personnel is key towards realizing better health outcome. Yes, yet the percentage share in these programs is very small. Next slide. I think it's yes, okay. It's the program achievement on education. It's the same approach. The department does report on its achievement and progress. The department reported on the service delivery targets on its program. However, the information is not disaggregated by gender. For example, you will find that it will mention clients that are also in the hypertension or screened new cases. It will state the targets or the numbers, but this information is not disaggregated by gender. Ideally, all the programs should be disaggregated by gender, so as to be able to achieve the national agenda of mainstreaming. However, the programs that we see perhaps are disaggregated. It's by virtue of these programs focusing on women, like the antenatal care. It's because by virtue they focus on women or maternal, child, and women's health, then they will be disaggregated by default. Next slide. In terms of the conclusion, the plans and strategy by the Office of the Premier indicate strides made by the province in reporting, as well as including vulnerable groups in its plans and programs in order to realize the gender goals. The department, as well on the selected departments, it does report on program achievement. However, the selected departments lack gender disaggregated information, so as to be able to understand the full impact of the expenditure on women and men. For gender mainstreaming to take effect, this information needs to be streamlined to all programs of the department, as well as monitored, evaluated, and audited, so as to be able to ensure that the gender targets are realized. Likewise, with program performance, information is reported and it should be disaggregated by gender so as to measure progress, as program budgets are not neutral, but they affect women and men differently. Last slide, I think it's the recommendation slide. Thank you. The Office of the Premier, together with other departments, such as the Provincial Treasury, should coordinate and spearhead initiatives focused on the capacity building of political and administrative leadership on gender responsive planning, the budgeting, the monitoring, the evaluation, as well as auditing at all levels of government in line with the national agenda. Annually, a comprehensive report should be prepared by government departments in the province on how their policies translate into gender equality commitments, and provincial legislative should play an oversight role in ensuring these commitments are realized. What is measured is likely to be prioritized. Departments as well should invest in statistical capacity building programs, prove their measurement of gender equality indicators, as well as the collection of gender disaggregated data, which will be reflected in their strategies and plans, executed through the budget and monitored, evaluated and audited, with the Office of the Premier as well as the provincial legislature exercising their oversight role in making sure that these plans are executed and budgeted as well as audited. Thank you, Chair. I think that was my last slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Over to you, Chairperson of the NCOP. That concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mbava. And thank you, Nomonde. Thank you for the presentation. I just really want to request that the water shouldn't make us to make so much noise. The water should just be distributed a bit equitable so that no one can fight for water. So we will allow the translation for a few minutes just to summarize what it was all about. Ndebele now.
Sepedi.
Sepedi now.
O abego a bolela mo ke Dr. P.N. Mbava ke yena seboledi sa rena sa pele se se boletseng yena ke modula setulo wa khoro ya ditšhelete o dumedisitse bohle ba ba lego ka gare ga ntlo e di-councilora commissioner tlo batla le bohle ba ile gore ba tswa ba le parlamenteng o be a bolela gore wa khoma basadi wa khoma mbokoto a bolela gape le ka dikabo tša ditšhelete tše ile gore maikemišetšo a bona ke go bea basadi pele le gore ba tle ba lebelle ditlhokwa le dinyakwa tša basadi gomme ba dumela ba re go tshwanetse go be le ditšhelete tše di abiwago gore di tle di berekane le tšohle tše e leng gore basadi ba lebane le tšona gape o re gore go tle go be le tšwelopele go tshwanetse gore go be le o mongwe wa šetšang gore dilo di sepela gabotse gomme ge godimo ga tabo ya kabo ya ditšhelete go na le diprograma tše e leng gore di a diriwa tša go tshwana le tša dithuto tša le tša maphelo gore go tle go be le kabo ya ditšhelete e le gore diprograme tša mohuta o di tle di kgone go fiwa šedi gomme ge go abiwa ditšhelete komišene e gona e le gore e kgethilwe jwale ka lekgotla jwale ge komišene yona e tshwanetse gore e iše pego go palamente di ntše di sepedišana ka ona mokgwa o gomme ge e tšwela pele a bolela gore go na le kabo ya ditšhelete e le gore e tshwanetse gore e lebelelane le FFC mo e le gore e itlama ka gore ba tla lebelela go se lekalekane ga bong kudu ga basadi le ge e le gore mohlomong go na le kabo ya ditšhelete e le gore ga e bolele ka basadi fela empa re tshwanetse kudu gore re lebelele mo go basadi kudu ge re aba ditšhelete go na le diphenyo le dipuputso tše di šetšeng di dirilwe di diriwa ke FFC e leng gore ba lebeletse maemo a profense ya Mpumalanga ba boletse gape ka kabo ya ditšhelete ya 2021 go fihla go 2022 e leng gore bo tshwanetse gore ditšhelete tšeo ge di abiwa di lebelelane le tekatokano ya bong ba bo mme gape ba re ge ba ntse ba nyakišiša ba hlakana le taba ya gore o ka re go a kgwelekgwetla mo go lekalekaneng kudu ge re tla ka mo basading mme ge o re premier le yona e boletše ka kabo ya ditšhelete gore kabo eo e tle e thuše basadi kudu ba e leng gore mohlomongwe ke basadi le malapa a e le gore ga a itekanela le batho ba e leng gore ga ba itekanela mo go bona mohlomongwe le bana ba bona tše dingwe gape tše ba di boletšeng ke diprograma tše di tla bang gona tše di tla thušang basadi le bana le batho ba e le gore ga ba itekanela ba tla ba ruta mo setšhabeng gore go tshwanetse go dirwe eng mme le gore ditšhelete tše di leng gona tša go ba thuša ke tše di feng ba bolela gape le ka diprograma tšona tšeo tše di tla beng gona gore go na le diprograma tšeo ge šetše di dirilwe mme tshwantse go diriwe ntho e leng gore ke auditing di tshwantse di o lebelelwa gape ba bolela gore programa ya bana le malapa e dira 33% bao ba sa itekanelang le ba e le gore ke malapa a bokoa gape go na le diprograma tše di tla tlišiwa tše di šetšeng di dirilwe ko dikolong tša mmušo tšona di dira 97% and then go na le gape le dikolo tša mmušo tše e leng gore di kgethegile di sepela ka 3% bana ba bannyane di-crèche re bitša early childhood ke 2% gomme ge go tshwanetse gore go sepele go fela go yo tlholatlhodiwa gona mo ka gore dilo di sepela gabotse kudu tabeng ya gore go na le tlhokego ya mošomo o kry e le gore batswadi goba batho ba bomme ga bana mešomo gape go boletšwe gape le ka diprograma tša go tshwana le tše e le gore go na le dikolo tše e le gore ke tša mmušo gomme a go patelwe a go lefiwe mo dikolong tšeo dišomišwa dinamelwa tša bana ba sekolo ntho re bitsang gore ke scholar transport program le yona e nyaka gore ba emakemeke ba tsenelele ka gare mme ge re tlo ba bolela gape le ka tša maphelo tše e le gore di gona districting tšona di sepela ka 62% mo e leng gore go bohlokwa gore re tshwanetse gore re be le ditliniki goba kabo ya maphelo mo e le gore o tla kgona go ya e leng gore e tla mekamekana le setšhaba e tla lebelela setšhaba se kgone go hwetša dilo tša go tshwana le bodihlare kudu batho ba ile gore ga ba itekanela ebile ba di kobo magetleng.
Thank you very much. We are trying to make sure that we are closer to one another, but thank you very much for the presentation. Our next report or presentation will also be on the virtual platform, but this one is important because now it is a report from the provincial government, and we will be giving to the DDG in the office of the Premier, DDG Nyoni, to do the presentation, and I really hope I won't have a technical issue now. So over to you, DDG Nyoni. Now you can finish this thing of water. Give more water whilst we are waiting. This person decided to come here physically.
That's good.
And that is really good. So we are just waiting for the person that will do the presentation. They realize that we are having some problems, so they send someone physically. I will find out who it is as soon as she's inside. But they send someone physically to come and do the presentation. Ask those people with water, they've got 5 minutes. Candace, let them serve water now and finish serving. Because they are really, it's a disturbance. Zwai, is there water? Okay.
Oh, bonke abanikela abantu ngamanzi kuthiwa banemzuzu nje emihlanu uzanikela usihlalo imizuzu emihlanu nje nikhona ukubanikela kuze kuthi ihlelo lethu likhambe ngendlela ehlelekileyo.
Bao ba belang batho metsi re le fa metsotso e mehlano fela gore le kgone go dira jwalo ka gore le a re phazamisha le a re disturba gore re tle re kgone go sepedišana gabotse le go kwana gabotse. Metsotso ke e mehlano e fang batho ka moka metsi go tle go dule mfase re tle re kgone go tšwela pele.
Thank you very much. We are going to continue. Because of other responsibilities, the Premier delegated the DGG. But because of the fact that they have seen that they rather send someone to come and do a physical presentation, we are honored to have with us the Director for Special Programs. That is Ms. Nandi Shongwe. And she will be presenting. It's over to you. Thank you.
Sanbona. Ninjani. Ngicela kubona izimbokodo. Phambili ngezimbokodo phambili. Phambili ngeMpumalanga phambili. Phambili ngeNCOP phambili. Phambili Commission for Gender Equality phambili. Phambili ngama district mayors and local mayors eTasempumalanga phambili. Lastly, phambili ngomama wethu uPremier urifilwe Mthweni Tsipani phambili. Ngiyanibingelela FFC. Phambili ngeFFC phambili. Ngithanda ukuthi phambili ngabo baba nabo bhuti bethu abathi ngaphansi phansi ngokuhlukumeza abo mama nabantwana phansi. Ngithanda ukunibingelela ome phambi kwenu nguNandi Shongwe. Ngunandi isibongo ngwakashongwe ngivela eofisini la kaNdunankulu umama urifilwe Mthweni Tsipani. I'm a director ku Special Programs Directorate. I directorate yethu sibheke ama program amane, 4 programs. The first program that we have, it's a program that deals with issues of disability. We have the Office on the Status of Persons with Disabilities. And then the second one, we have an office that deals with youth development. The third one, we have an office that deals with issues about the rights of older persons. And the sub-directorate that we have, it's a sub-directorate that speaks to issues on women empowerment and gender equality. So I'm here to give to you abaphathi bami, uDG no Premier, babambekile namhlanje with other commitments. Bayasho ukuthi it's a very important session, this one. So there's no way ukuthi kungabi ne representation that comes from the office. Hence I'm here, delegated by them. So ngithanda ukusho ukuthi siyalibonga ithuba. Angazi nginama minutes amangaki mama. How many minutes do I have?
You've got 15 minutes, but
15. Okay, yeah, thank you.
But I can give you 20 for you are representing a big office.
All right, ngiyabonga. Thank you so much. Nginikezwe imizuzu ke 20 minutes. I'll try to stick to those 20 minutes. Obviously lethu ngicela ukusho ke into engiletha lana indaba ya Office on the Status of Women. Obviously elibheke ukuthi abomama baphatheka kanjani, ama rights abomama siuhulumeni siubheka kanjani abomama across the line departments. As we know that the Office of the Premier, i-office elenza ukuthi libhekelele other departments, how are they implementing all the policy imperatives that are supposed to be implemented in relations to gender equality and women empowerment. Ngizozama ukuthi ngiyenze ibe lula lento engizoyisho ngoba some of the terms angikwazi ukuthi ngizowa translate kanjani. All right, uma sikhuluma ngendaba ye gender mainstreaming, sizama ukubheka ukuthi senza njani ukuthi wonke ama programs abuke izinto ngendlela ye gender perspective, which means sizama ukubheka ukuthi abomama babhekelelwa kanjani, because wonke umuntu into ayenzayo kufuna abhekelele abomama. Mina ngizokhulumela abomama kakhulu ne, ukuthi abomama ubabhekelelwa kanjani across the whole province. So into esiyenzayo ukuthi senze sure ukuthi onke ama programs, umuntu oka human settlement, umuntu oka Department of Agriculture, ukhokta wonke ama departments kumele kube nama programs asupporta ukuphakamisa abomama. Into esiyenzayo ke suhulumeni ukuthi wonke ama departments esinawo kuhulumeni oyi-12 provincial departments ayabhekelela indaba zabomama. Ngingakusho lokho ukuthi sinawo ama gender focal persons in all the departments. So ama gender focal persons yilabantu abanawo ama programs abuke ukuphakamisa abomama ngezindlela ezehlukahlukene kuya ngaleyo mandate yaleyo department. Njoba ngisho ukuthi indaba yoku gender mainstreaming yokubhekelela abomama in everything that you do, it cuts across. Wonke umuntu kufuna ayenze. Wonke ama departments ayenza. Sinawo ama gender focal persons njoba sengishilo, futhi ne budget sinayo, ikhona ibudget eyenziwa ukuthi uhulumeni ayibeke ukwenza ama programs abomama. Ngizocaphuna kancane kwamanye ama programs esiba nawo abhekelele ukuthi abomama bayandlondlobala bayaphambili. Angeke ngiwabale wonke ngoba maningi kakhulu enginawo la, ngizobala nje ama example amancane. Uma sibheka women in education and skills development, uma sithi sifuna ukuthi abomama bafunde bakwazi ukuthi fundiseka namanye ama skills babe nawo, siyakwazi ukuthi ngizokhulumisa the previous financial year unyaka ka 2021-22. Uma sibheka lapho kunabafazi ku provincial government, angibala bomasipala, sina abomama aba 3,706 across provincial government ama training esiwenzile ahlukahlukene lawo ma training. Futhi sibe nawo futhi nama skills development programs ku government a develop abomama abaningi nama awareness campaigns on different things. I-challenge esinayo ke ukuthi uma ubheka education and skills development, sisasenayo ingqinamba yokuthi sithola ama institutions ethu. For an example, mhlambe angibeke nge-University of Mpumalanga, you find that that institution ayikwazi ukubathatha abantwana bethu ngobuningi. Baya apply babe baningi kodwa bakwazi ukubathatha bonke ngoba ispace sakhona si limited sincane. Kusase ingqinamba leyo esibona ukuthi su government sizokwazi ukuthi makuhamba iminyaka mhlawumbe imali mayiba khona kukhuliswe ama departments kuma institutions. Ngibekisa just nge-University of Mpumalanga akhona maningi, khona amanye akhona futhi nala Dr. JS la inkangala district. So siyabona ukuthi kunesizathu sokuthi kumele su government sikhuphule imali esibekako njoba nazi ukuthi i-budget each and every year ayibe favorable, it shrinks each and every year. So nama bursaries siyabona ukuthi abantwana bethu abaningi baba nawo ama bursaries bawa applyele ukuthi abasize ukuthi bafunde kodwa abakwazi ukuthi bonke bawathole ngendaba yemali ukuthi imali incane. Kodwa nje siuhulumeni sifuna ukuthi ukuya phambili, sifuna ukuzama ukuthi imali mayitholakala si invest ku skills development and education. Uma sibheka women and health, abomama abaningi bayasizakala. Izinsiza zikhona ezibakhona izibhedlela nama clinic akhona, kodwa futhi kusanezingqinamba ngicela ukusho ezikhona ama challenges. Uyathola ukuthi kusanama long waiting lists abomama bakhona ukusizakala ngesinye isikhathi sithola ukuthi masifika ezibhedlela amakliniki asitholi futhi ukuthi sisizakale ngemithi noma amaphilisi sithola ukuthi aphelile kodwa ingqinamba ekhona esiawe ngayo leyo siyabona ukuthi ngoba iyabathinta nabomama so ukuya phambili siyasho ukuthi sizozama ukuthi imali ifakwe ngobuningi kwakhiwe futhi siyabona iDepartment of Health ziningi isibhedlela ezakhile even nala ngiyakhumbula last week bekuyiwe esibhedlela uPremier khona Premier's outreach baya renovate kuyakhulisa so siyazama futhi ukuthi sizama ukuthi kwenzeke lokhu abantu efanele ukuthi bakuthole angeke ngibala ama numbers because nginama figures amaningi ukuthi bangakhe abatholile usizo kunale program engithanda ukuyisho ku Women and Health engizogxila kuyo kancane I program ye Sanitary Dignity Project niyayazi ngithi le ukuthi abantwana ezikoleni zethu bayasizakala ukuthola ama sanitary pads angithi njoba ngisho ke I program ekhona ku department yaka social development as a leading department so currently abantwana ababenefitayo bawu 70,621 kodwa le number incane bakwethu ngithanda ukusho ngendaba yemali kusafuneka ikhuliswe ngoba baningi abantwana kumele ngabe bayathola kodwa abatholi ngendaba yemali so abakwazi ukuyithola kodwa ukuya phambili sithi imali ivela iba khona we will invest more on that program maningi ama program njoba ngishilo I will just mention one by one just to move forward but nginawo amanye ama programs amanye ama departments akhulumisa lokho and futhi siyabona ne women in poverty omama abaningi siyabona ukuthi baphila below poverty line njoba ngisho ke ukuthi abaningi abomama abatholile futhi ukuthi abathola ama subsidies ezindlu ku government 561 le number ngiyibalayo bakwethu isho unyaka owodwa lesibuya kuwo 561 abatholile futhi isupport yama subsidies 365 ama NPOs leadwa abomama asupportiwe by various departments and futhi ama title deed abomama abaningi bawatholile 887 abatholile inumber le ngiyibona ngathi incane kodwa njoba ngishilo report yami ikhulumisa just unyaka owodwa lesibuya kuwo but njoba ngisho asasemaningi ama title deed abelonga kubomama kusafanele akhishwe uhulumeni njoba uDepartment of Human Settlement every month uyazama uye ezindaweni ezihlukahlukene banikeza abantu abadinga ukuthi bathole ama title deed economic power women and economic power ngizoxela kancane kulena abomama abaningi la eMpumalanga abasebenzi abamama abaningi nginamanga abomama abaningi abasebenzi futhi uma bangasebenzi abomama abaningi futhi siyabona futhi ukuthi omama abaningi yibo abaphethe amakhaya as single parents so siyabona ukuthi isikhona isidingo sokuthi omama ba-empowerishe economically ngoba uma ubheka futhi nendaba ye-gender based violence ukuhlukumezeka kwabomama nabantwana na everyone ngoba le violence ayisasiya bomama kuphela ngithi nabo baba bayahlukumezeka nabantwana nabogogo wonke umuntu siyabona ukuthi somewhere somehow economic empowerment has a lot to do uma siba empowerisha ukuthi kuzonciphiswa yilo ngoba abantu mabangekho economically empowered most of them bathola sebancika kuma relationship angekho right ngoba umuntu uthi ngilala ngidlile mosilana kunandaba ngithi ene lokho akukho right so njoba ngisho ke ama departments amaningi abo Department of Economic Development abo Agriculture abo Public Works they've got different programs that are there to empower women about 33,102 women participated in different programs that empowers them economically and futhi nama projects amaningi abomama abaningi baqashekile kulonyaka esibuya kuwo abaningi bakhona baqashwa mhlambe part time or kuma contracts about 25,256 ngoba abaningi ama programs akhona labo EPWP and whatsoever but we still need to do more as government akusi kusasekuncane lokho kukhona abantwana futhi bethu babomama young children kunale project esibiza ngeMpumalanga Youth Development Fund ngicela ukubona bangaki abayaziyo aniyazi okay Mpumalanga Youth Development Fund ngizoyikhuluma ke ngoba it's one of the flagship projects zakandunankulu, previous flagship project. Mpumalanga Youth Development Fund inikezela izimali kubantwana bethu abayouth. Uma ngikhuluma nge-youth ngisho abantwana between the ages of 18 to 25 to 35. So le fund ibuka both abantwana males and females ayikhethi. Kodwa ngizontshela ngale ebheke ukuthi benefit ebangaki kulabantwana bethu bamantombazana. So kule fund iqale unyaka ondlule sinikezile about 81 million ehambile yakubantwana youth yala eMpumalanga. La Dr. JS iviki elidlulile last week Thursday upremier ubekhona ezobheka iproject bathi lungile poultry farm. Umntwana ulungile uyouth ubenefitile kule program and ngicela ukusho le program lena iprogram yokuthi le mali bayanikezwa up to 5 million ngeproject ngebusiness. Ulungile utholile ke imali 2.7 million ngibuzobala just yena baningi abatholile ama beneficiaries kulonyaka ondlule 64 companies and mangithi 64 companies awala eMpumalanga lana eNkangala kuthole about 25 abantwana youth. So kule 25 ke sibonile ukuthi imali eningi futhi ingenile kakhulu futhi la eNkangala ukusiza labantwana. Le mali ngicela ukusho abayibhadali back kundunankulu i-grant akusi loan. Sivulile futhi lo nyaka lona sesivale ngoMay ba-applyile abantwana sisase busy sizobuya futhi la iDr JS sizobuya futhi la eNkangala sizonikeza ukuthi naba abantwana abatholile. I think umeya ubebe khona bezo attesta nabo ukuthi labantwana uyabazi ubavakashele ubabonile. Oh ukhona Twini ukhona yeah uyabazi ubabonile maningi aba project bengibala just le A1 baningi na ku farming batholile batholile baningi kodwa kuyafuna nathi siumphathi sibasize bakhula abantwana ene bazoqasha abantwana bethu youth ngoba le project ithi uma sikupha le mali undunankulu akupha le mali ukusiza ibusiness lakho uqasha youth kuyazwakala. So mani bathola nibazi ngingakhulumisana nomeya uzonipha bona ukuthi abobani sicela ukuthi nibasize sibaphe the proper skills sisebenzisane nohulumeni ngoba uhulumeni esebenza yedwa akakwazi uachieve a lot sonke kumele sibambisane. So kulonyaka le fund izoba ina 60 million ne ina 60 million ekumele siyihambise na kanjani akumele iphindele emuva. So ngicela nigcugcuzele abantwana bethu ba-apply bonke abafana namantombazane kodwa le fund iba benefitile abantwana bethu bamantombazane. Izingqinamba ezikhona ke masibuka abomama nezokuthuthuka ukuthi sithola ukuthi ama project amaningi mhlambe ku construction for an example abomama batholi ama opportunities kahle ama opportunities athola abobaba. So sithi thina suhulumeni siqala ama programs azofinyelela ukuthi si empowerish abomama ngoba sithe manje sifuna ukufocusa kakhulu on women empowerment because abobaba baningi ba empowerishekile. It's high time we want to uplift more women because siya understand isimo sabafazi kakhulu ngoba abafazi abaningi bathwele kanzima emakhaya bangikho konke bangomama bawobaba uba unesi ube uthisha ube yonke into as a mother ekhaya. So kuningi esikwenzayo ke suhulumeni njoba ngishilo ukuthi angeke ngikhulume konke ngoba isikhathi sami sincane ngizobamba ngiyeke. Uma sikhuluma employment equity ukuqasheka ke ukuthi sibalansise sisase asikakenzi kahle mangikhulumela kulama position aphezulu lawa okuthatha ama decisions uhulumeni. Ngithanda ukucacisa lokho siyazama kodwa asikakafiki ku 50%. U 50% uthi uma ngabe izikhundla mhlambe eziwu10 ngiyabekisa izikhundla zokuthatha ama decision kuleyo department uma ngabe senza kahle kulo 10 sifuna ukuthi 5 kube abobaba 5 abomama noma kube more abomama but not less than 5. Kuyazwakala sisafuna ukufika lapha sikakafinyeleli kodwa maningi ama programs akhona a try ukuthi a empowerishe abomama ukuthi baqhubeke bakhuphuke ngoba sifuna ukubabona sifike kulo 50% siphinde simdlule u50%. Maningi lamana basicela ungawabizi ngicabanga ukuthi ngizoyishare le presentation sizoyithola amasystem akhaya siyifunde ngoba lama numbers maningi ngama departments ukuthi kuphi baqashe bangaki kanjani abomama ngithi sikhulumela abomama so ngithanda ukungakusho konke manje ngoba isikhathi sami sincane. Yes. Ngicela ukuyisonga ngiyabona ukuthi sebangisayinela kuma departments sinawo ama desk abuke ukuthuthukisa abomama sinawo ama gender focal persons sibabiza gender focal persons in all the departments so ama programs akhona ngicela ukuthi sisebenzise ubudlelwane esizobuqinisa abomasipala na kuma departments ukwazi ukuthi banawapi ama projects nama programs athuthukisa abomama kodwa ingqinamba esisasenayo indaba ye budget indaba yemali angithi niyabona vele from national treasury imali iyancipha njalo ngeminyaka uma ngabe izolo bakuphe u10 rand kusasa bazokupha u8 rand angithi siyakwazi lokho kodwa lezi tekufuna sizenze ziyakhula azinciphi so kusase challenge lo so kumele sizame ke siprioritize senze lokho kufanele ukuthi sikwenze indaba yoku institutionalize gender mainstreaming uhulumeni office la kaNdunankulu yilo eliku championayo lokho siyazama ukuthi sikwenze sine platform esibiza ngeprovincial gender machinery la khona abomasipala nama departments ne civil society in chapter 9 participate kulawa ma platform ila sihlanganisa izinhloko khona sibone ukuthi wapha ama programs esingawenza ukuze sithuthukise abomama la sikhona khona nama budgets and everything so iyahlangana every quarter I provincial gender machinery ebizwa ioffice lethu ioffice on the status of women kodwa nakhona kusasene izingqinamba ezincane ngizozibala uthola igender focal person eyodwa ibhekele ama programs amaningi which is still a challenge ne ngigender focal person mina ngibhekela iprogram yabomama program ye youth ye disability health and wellness ogogo yabona so it's still a challenge but nje siyathemba ukuthi masihamba sibambisana sithola na more budget sizoba right kunalento esibiza ngegender responsive planning budgeting monitoring evaluation ngiyeza ukuthi liningi leligama sizama uyichaza ibe malula sizama ukuthi uma sibeka ibudget sesiplana ukuthi senza lama program lawa sizonikeza imali e10 for lama programs siphinde simonitor sibheke ukuthi lokho sikuplanile siyakwenza na siphinde senze evaluation alomsebenzi siwenza ukuthi does it have an impact la senza khona lokho kusho ukuthi konke masikwenza konke lokho kumele sikubuke ngehlo legender kahle igender isho omama nabo baba kodwa manje angithi sesinale group ye LGBTQIA akumelanga siyikhweshise ikhona sinabo emphakathini nabo kufuna sibalungiselele sibe nama programs abatargetayo so leyo concept ye gender responsive isho kanjani ithi mawuplana wenza konke umonitor wenza ubeka izimali cabanga ukuthi unalama target groups la khona lama target groups lawa ngale concept leyo ikutshela ngomama women ikutshele ngeyouth ikutshele nge persons with disabilities konke sikwenzayo suhulumeni kumele ama programs ethu abafake bonke labo bantu labo noma ngabe wenzani noma uka human settlement noma uka agriculture konke kufuna bangene labo bantu labo so njengoba sumphakathi senzeni sure ukuthi or masipala noma yipi department into abayenzayo asibuzeni ukuthi bapha abantu abasha bapho mama nesezwana bapha abantu abakhubazekile ngoba kumele sibafake futhi le concept ye gender responsive it omama minimum 40% noma ngabe wenzani mawufuna ukubapha umsebenzi la kamasipala mameya funa sithi 40% and up okwabo mama kuqala bese ithi youth 30% ne and up ama minimum lawo bese ithi persons with disabilities 2% kodwa sebaya negotiate sebafuna ukumova ku 7%. So kufuna sizibhekelele zonke lezi zinto in everything that we do asingabashiyeli ngaphandle. Department of Women, Youth, Persons with Disabilities ehola umama uMaite Nkwana Mashabane. Ithi le department siyeza kuma provinces bayenzile ama training bas capacitateile suhulumeni nakubo masipala senzile ama workshops amaningi ukuthi senze lento ekufanele ukuthi siyenze. Namanje futhi sisaqhubeka sisawenza kodwa siyasho ukuthi ekugcineni sizothola isikhathi la sizosho khona ukuthi we are celebrating what we have done nge women empowerment kodwa njengoba ngisho sengivala ukuthi asikakafiki la sifuna ukuya khona kodwa maningi ama programs esinithembisa wona ukuthi sizowenza sithuthukisa bomama. It's unfortunate I couldn't talk to everything ngoba ziningi lezinto. Okay, sengigcina nayi it's my passion indaba ye gender based violence. Uhulumeni wenzile imizamo ukuthi sithathe i-national strategic framework siyenze ibe ye-province ikhulumisa i-context ye-province njengoba ngikhuluma nani ihhovisi landunankulu li busy lizofinalize end of October senza i-provincial strategy for gender based violence. Uma senza le strategy sifaka asisenzi sisodwa suhulumeni so masipala civil society ngoba yibo aba on the ground abadila ngalama issues angithi gender based violence ne private sector ne chapter 9 institution sihlangene sizama ukuthi sibe ne strategy se gender based violence. Once the strategy has been approved before the end of this of Q3 sizolithatha sisilethe kini bomasipala sibone ukuthi si-implementa kanjani as a province we move forward sikwazi futhi ukuthi sibe ne-plan ye-province every quarter sizoreporta ku-president njengoba afuna senze each and every quarter sikwazi ukuthi silungiselele ukuya naku-national summit ye-presidential summit ezoba khona mhla ka-1 no-2 November 2022 ezobizwa ubaba upresident uRamaphosa. Ngiyabonga ngizoshare le presentation okuningi ngikukhulumanga ngenxa yesikhathi. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. It's fine. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine because she was close by. We want to bring it closer. She's apologizing now, but I should tell you this. She got a tire burst on her way here, and a terrible one. We can thank God that she's still with us because of how that tire really looked. So we are grateful that she still, after that ordeal, she decided still to come. Because when she said this is her passion, we realized that yes, we need passionate people that are serving our people. Before I give over to Honorable Malika to chair this following session, which will just be at least 2 mayors, and then we will have an interactive session where you will also engage. So before I give to Honorable Malika, let me also just welcome Honorable Ethel Nkosi. She's also representing Mpumalanga in the National Council of Provinces. And she's here at the table to greet your people. You are Muslim Mpumalanga.
Halala Mpumalanga halala. Halala Mpumalanga halala. Eita Dr. J.S. Eita. Malibongwe.
We also have on the platform from the Economic Freedom Fighters a very brand new member, that is Mbali Tlamini. She just, I think she was sworn in recently. She replaced someone else. So she's also on the platform and she's also representing Mpumalanga. And also we have got Nokzola Ndongeni, Honorable Member from the Eastern Cape, also in the National Council of Provinces. She's also on the platform. I just wanted, because the members say I don't introduce them. Now I'm introducing all of them. I'm introducing all of them. Thank you for your presence. Honorable Malika, you can come to the podium and take the program further. If the people on the virtual platform is not there, start with the one that is present.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Malibongwe. Without wasting more time, I will continue with the program. And I want to greet the Executive Mayor of Dr. J.S. Moroka and all the participants in the platform, in the virtual platform. Bese ngibingelela bonke abomama, abobaba, abantu abasha bakhona la ngaphakathi. I'm going to continue with the program. I want to check whether Councillor Iti Mabuza supposed to be on the virtual platform. That is she there, that she can give us a engendering about the district development model and integrated development, local economic development program, gender responsive planning and budgeting. Also, she or he must update us about the interventions of the gender-based violence and femicide. I don't know whether she or he on the platform. I will hear from Councillor Iti Mabuza. Okay, let me continue. I will hand over to Councillor Mtweni because even the Hertzbande district municipality, there is a challenge. I will hand over to you, Honorable Mtweni.
Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Wathinta abafazi. Wena. Sithokoze. Thank you very much, Program Director, for the opportunity. Ngithokoze ithuba ongipha lona mphathi ndambo. Ke leboga sebaka se mfang sona motshwara marapo gore ke bolele le bomme. Mara niyazibona ukuthi nibahle kangangani bomma? Have a look at yourself, nazibona ukuthi nibahle njani? Asishane zalo ukuthi sibahle. Thank you. Phela inyanga yamagugu angithi. Fanele sibe bahle sonke. So angithoma ngokulochisa Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Lucas. Ngilochise uMasilela we-province okade asamukela lapha namhlanje si. Greet our Honorable Speaker Urosina Nkwana. All MMCs who are here present from other municipalities and from Dr. J.S. Moroka from the Ngangala district and chairpersons of Section 79 who are here with us. Ngilochise ama members abuya ku NCOP. Ngithi we are happy to have you here with us today, honorable members from the NCOP. Sijabule khulukhulu kuba nabo. Nokuthi bakhethe thina njengeMpumalanga ukuthi ke after the 7 provinces abayekiyo beze kithi siyathokoza kwamambala. Ngilochisa ababuya kwa Premier's office, ababuya eNkangala district, ababuya masipala ama officials nabuya eParliament nabuya eprovincini. Siyanlochisa noke. Silochise amapolisa wethu kuthathokoza ukusihelebha ichubeka nesihelebhe njalo nakune chata. Silochise abomma basadi bomme kidinako. Wonke umuntu okhona nabantu abatsha bakhona phakathi kwethu nalaba abasithatha kwintombe labe media nabo siyabalochisa nabasipha amanzi bonke nabasazosipha ukudla nabo siyabalochisa. Sithuzima asenzele sonke mara lokho ngilochisa egameni lengwenya mabhoko the second the traditional council nekosana yalapha ekhaya eGamerefiri. Program Director, my task is to give a report on the Nkangala district. I'll give a brief background before I continue with the other matters, just to give you a glimpse of who we are. The Nkangala district municipality is a category C municipality or I cannot talk to a report before I apologize for the person. Yeah. I want to take this opportunity and apologize for the district mayor, who Councillor Leah Mabuza, who was supposed to present this report, but due to other commitments, I was angufika. Ngithanda ukuxolisela executive mayor we district Leah Mabuza. Ebekade kunguye fanele athule report le mara ngokuba nombereko omunye okhona owenza ukuthi angafiki la uba yokuthi thina sempemero kasimenzele yona ngimxolisela kakhulu uthe ngimxolisele kakhulu ngintshele ukuthi unthanda kakhulu siyathokoza. I was saying Ngala district municipality is a category C municipality in the Mpumalanga province. It is one of the 3 districts in the province, making up 22% of its geographical area. It is comprised of 6 local municipalities, which is Victor Kanye, Emalahleni, Steve Chwete, Emakazeni, Tembisi Lehani, and ourselves, Dr. J.S. Muroka. The district headquarters are in Middelburg. Nkangala district is the economic hub of Mpumalanga and is rich in minerals and natural resources. The district is host to the Maputo corridor, which brings increased potential of economic growth and tourism development. Nkangala district neighbors provinces like Limpopo, Gauteng, and Northwest. The proximity to Gauteng opens up opportunities to a large market, which is of benefit to the district, agriculture and manufacturing sectors. There is further potential in exporting goods that provides opportunities within the district. The next picture just shows the district's 6 municipalities. It's not shown there, but I have it here. Then I come to the introduction of the presentation itself. On women, history of gender rights, activism in South Africa, the struggle against apartheid was also used as a platform by women to struggle against gender injustices and further defined the gender struggles. As the Nkangala district, we're noting the following. Nkangala district is khulumela kuloko kulandelayo. Ngiyabawa ukuthi sibekezela ngithi ngoba kukhona abanye abalaleleyo abangekho la. So kufanele sithule le nkulumo ngesikhuwa bese bazosongela yona ekugcineni ngithi. Angithi siyazwana. Thokoza kakhulu. Nabo mangiyazi bayalalela futhi bayazwisisa. Thokoza kakhulu. We're noting that women make up a large percentage of the poor, particularly in the rural areas in Makai. Gender parity along race and geographic location are at a low percentage and representation. It is fundamentally important that we advocate for a range of measures to advocate women's equality. We note that public employment should be expanded to provide work to the unemployment with specific focus on women. That by 2030, women in South Africa should have no fear of any form of gender-based violence and crimes. That women, children, and those who are vulnerable should feel protected in their homes, workplace, and in their communities. That the transformation of the economy should involve the active participation and empowerment of women. Social, cultural, religious, and educational barriers to women entering the job market should be addressed. Concrete measures should be put in place and the results should be evaluated over time. That's what we are noting as the district of Nkangala district. Now we come to the district gender machinery. District gender machinery, structures that are in place within the municipalities in order to advance the gender equality agenda are the following: the social cluster, the women caucus, the local development forum, the bid committees, specifications, evaluation, and adjudication in particular, employment equity forums, AIDS, district AIDS council. Now, progress made in developing engendered policies are the following. The existing transversal unit, develop and implement transversal mainstreaming strategy, conduct workplace skills audit and training needs assessment, in particular analysis of all municipal employees. The review and adopt workshop with sexual harassment, safety home sellers and abused women in cooperation with Department of Justice. Saps have its own separate room where abused women are kept safe. We appreciate that, Saps, because usually bathi abomama bazokureport nibakhulumisa emphakathini. Masiyajabula ukuthi njenganje kuthiwa sen nama room special labo mana bazoreporta khona nibabeka khona ukuthi ke bakhulume kuhle bakhululekile. Siyakuthokozela lokho. Now, gender responsive planning and budgeting to ensure women's empowerment and gender equality at center of public policy, planning and budgeting. To supply chain policy, 30% of the total approved budget must benefit women. Municipalities have the following budget on gender responsive. The Nkangala District Municipality has put aside 3 million for transversal issues. Dr. Chase Muroka has put 300,000, Emma Lashley 250,000, Steve Chwete 250,000, Tembisi Lehani 150,000, Victor Kani and Emma Kazeni. There's no budget that is here, but the district mayor said they're in discussion when Zashoguti there's budget, and the women's commissioner is here. She will also ensure that there's budget to ensure that Emma Kazeni and Victor Kani also follow suit. There's budget to ensure that women's issues in our different institutions are taken forward. Now we come to the quality, local economic opportunities, which are extended to women, including procurement plans for a current financial year. As the district office was saying that in collaboration with National Youth Development Agency grant, we have awarded to women, youth, and women, people with disability, the following: an event management equipment, small chicken broiler farm, meat griller farm, Ishisanyama, osmosis water machine, stock for spaza shop, incubator machine for poultry-based business, internet cafe equipment. Giloku esesi phabantu bekhethu bakubawula ukusabanikela bona. Okunyeke, we're working together with the Bitverse, Proticoin, Sasita, learning learnership programs. The district has managed to implement the safety and security learnership program where 55 learners were able to complete their training. Which would not say 55, but I would ikangala yoke. Unabana nabathethweko from endaweni zonke zalapha ekhaya, Mroka, njengoba balabo masipala, bese bokutraina baba kule program ye safety and security abantwana bethu. I-Bitverse Proticon provide placement opportunities immediately after the training is completed, which is 12 months. We should never take that with 12 months. Abazukuhlala emakhaya, i-Bitverse izokwenza ukuthi babe nalabachinga khona for ukuthi bokutrainwa. Nasiza ke ulandelana ko ebizwa ukuthi ke osaqhubeka ngayo leyo kwesithi ke i-district has also to support small, micro and medium enterprises, cooperatives and informal traders with tools and equipments. The district has assisted SMMEs, cooperatives and informal traders with tools and equipment so that they can improve as well as grow their businesses. Bakhulisa amabhizinisi wabo ibasiza ngalokho i-district. About 57 SMMEs have been approved, as well as 24 emerging farmers. In total, there will be 81 SMMEs and emerging farmers that will benefit from the program. Nasebahlangene bonke by 81 abazokuthola ukuthi uhelebheka kule program yama SMMEs. 20 SMMEs, cooperatives and informal traders already received their tools and equipment. Kusho ukuthi laba aba 81 abayi-20 vele sebazitholile into zabo abazibawileko nerhelebho sebalitholile kuri bathotse ithuso ebayikupileng le ditiriso tsa bona ba ba di thotse ba ba file tsona district ibe ba file tsona already ba di tshwere magaeng ba di berekisa. District will also undertake local economic development community seminars, outreaches to share our SMME support programs with our communities. This will also bring along state development and finance institutions such as SIDA, SIFA, NYDA, IDC, NEF to available support and funding programs. Ukuthi districts ayizokujama la izochubeka phambili ifune ukuthi ke nabanye beze bazokusupporta i-district. We come now to the gender-based violence and femicide response programs. The area of concern is the gender-based violence and femicide. We're talking here about the system in place, social challenges, and how we're going to be intervening as the district, my recommendations and my interventions. The first one is that we're going to enable legislative and policy framework that speaks to GBVF and gender and women's rights. The 365 days of activism of no violence against women, of violence against women and children program, Orange Day on the 25th of each month to take stands on ending violence against women and girls. Under the 3 dialogues for men and boys, human rights programs on the LGBTIQ+ community, house domination victims and park homes donated by private sector, gender focal persons capacitated with gender streamlined training, gender responsive budgeting and planning, mentoring and coaching program for women caucuses. And then the last one is we are going to facilitate various programs and projects, for an example, dialogues, prayers, and marches to address gender issues. Those are the systems that are in place by the district. Now, our challenges that are there are the following: domestic violence, rape, physical abuse, incest assault, abandoned children, sexual harassment, forced marriages, human trafficking, incest and violence against foreign nationals. The other challenges are reduced resources allocated to gender equality due to budgetary cuts, the one that was explained here by Unandi, which we've got a budget yakatwa now and then, but our challenges is that abamaning budget on yakatwa. Unandi, I was happy about that. Secondly is insufficient budgeting for local municipalities, full-time gender desk, barriers preventing women from disadvantaged groups, especially rural areas, to benefit from gender equality policies and standards. Shortcomings to achieving women's balance, participation in political and public decision-making. Those were the challenges that we are reporting as the district. Now, you cannot have challenges and not have solutions. So we're saying that as a district, the following are the solutions on the challenges and the systems in place that we have reported. We're going to ensure that gender by budgeting and accurate gender. We're going to ensure that we roll out a public education values campaign for all women. Ensure plans include an explicit focus on persons with disability and LGBTQLI+ communities. We're going to improve coordination of organizations within the CSO sector. We're going to be improving coordination of organization within we're going to improve provision of efficient service in shelters, targeting inclusivity in all shelters to accommodate the LGBTQIA communities. We're going to encourage men to be positive, to play a positive role or to be positive role models to young boys and mentor and guide them in their journey to adulthood. We're going to educate men and boys about the impact of abuse on the victims and families. We're going to continue as a district to ensure that we lobby and advocate 50-50 campaign by doing the following. By ensuring women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision-making in political, economic, and public life. We're going to provide capacity-building workshops and training. We're going to promote the rights of women through social campaigns. That's what we're going to do as a district. But now, just to show that as women, gender audit, statistical analysis, kusho ukuthi ukutshengisa ukuthi la e-district zikhamba njani izinto. Sokhombisa ukuthi ke abo executive mayor bangaki, abo speaker bangaki, abo chief whip bangaki, abo municipal manager bangaki against abo baba bakhona. Ukhombisa ukuthi umbereko sesemningi khulu fanele siwenze sibomama. And thina sibaningi ngithi we're at a majority but still we're not at the 50% esithupuma ngayo. Lapha eNkangala district abo executive mayor abakhona bayi7 nabaphelele. But only 3 are women. Masiakbo speaker bayi7 baphelele. Only 3 are women. Abo mabathathu phela babo speaker. Nasiakbo chief whip ala indlala khulu la. Bayi7 abo baba babo chief ama chief baphelele wonke. Babili kuphela 3 aboma. Kuri chief whip kamuka cha mo district kala district. D7 basari ke baba bedi fela. And then umasipala manager ba re tshwaretseng bo masipala mo 7 municipality ke baba bedi fela bomme kuri baba bangwe ba 5 ya bona ke banna. So mere ku salo mutsha kere umsebenzi sesemnenkhulo wenza ukuthi ke sikwazi ukuthi sifikelele lapho. Selesiphetha ke si district municipality. In our conclusion we are saying this we're talking to the lobby and advocate of 50% campaign by ensuring women's full and effective participation and equal opportunities for leadership at all levels of decision making in political and economic and public life. We're saying we're saying it's ongoing, this one. Actually, everything that I'm going to talk to in this is ongoing processes. We're going to support and monitor programs for equitable job creation, representation, and ownership by women. This one also is ongoing. We're going to ensure that women's participation in the justice sector is there. We're going to ensure that public-private partnership to facilitate economic opportunities for women living in abusive relationship is corrected. It's an ongoing matter. We're going to ensure that political, government, business, and community leadership must take responsibility for and to support the cause of eradicating GBVF communities and advocacy campaign. We're going to ensure that capacity building of all traditional leaders on customary law with fundamental rights is taken care of, which is an ongoing process. We're going to also ensure that a gender budgeting and accurate gender rollout of public education values campaign for all is taken care of, and it's an ongoing matter. The last one, Chairperson, right on time, is we are going to ensure that the strengthen and targeted and comprehensive evidence-based multi-sectoral response to HIV and AIDS epidemic, which is very much important that we should take care of that. Malibongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Halala Mpumalanga halala. Halala Kangala district halala. Halala Tembisile halala. Eita Moroka eita.
Thank you, Councillor Mtsweni. I've got an indication that Ehlanzeni is on the platform, but is Dr. Sipotibane who's going to give us a presentation. Can you please just stick to the time of 20 minutes and summarize the presentation? Because I've seen the Councillor Mabuza not on the platform. Over to you, Dr. Sipotibane.
One on the platform. Let him summarize it.
Can talk, Doc. You can talk.
Good afternoon, leadership.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am not sure whether it's time for us to actually start presenting. I am Sipho from Ehlanzeni District Municipality.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I think we do have a little bit of a problem in terms of the sound, but if we are clear and then we can actually try and move forward. I hope I will believe that someone will assist with the scrolling of the document so that we are in a position to continue with the presentation. May I request that we go to the next slide so that we are able to be as quick as possibly can in view of the time. As we all know, our leadership, that the whole aspect of the district development model was conceived and was launched by the state president. And in the OR Tambo District Municipality, indeed, this is the operational model that is aimed at strengthening cooperative governance and ensuring that this strategy, in which the three realms of government and state agencies, private sector, as well as the civil society are able to work together to make sure that we are able to accelerate service delivery. May I request that we move to the next slide and what have you. The objectives of the one plan, particularly Ehlanzeni District Development Model, was to unlock all service delivery bottlenecks and ensure sustainable development in our districts and promote integrated and intergovernmental planning and budgeting, and also to ensure that services are able to reach out to people without challenges and whatnot, but also to express a coherent and predictable government approach in relation to long-term strategic framework for growth and development for the district space and what have you, but also to create an environment which is going to ensure conducive investments and opportunities for our people, And lastly, to strengthen governance and financial management practice in the district municipality as well as its local municipalities. Next slide. There are 6 transformational areas. I'm not going to bore you with them, but just safe to say at a high level, the DDM of Ehlanzeni is made up of 6 transformational areas. The first one, people development and demographics. The second one is your economic positioning. We know we have been hardly hit in terms of the economic meltdown since 2008 that took place in our European countries. But further to that, there were challenges around the COVID-19 that all of us, we are still trying to recover and whatnot. And then the next transformational area, it's around spatial restructuring and environmental sustainability, by where we are trying by all means to make sure that people are settled in the correct places, and that also infrastructure is equally distributed in all areas that has got a potential of growing the economy and ensuring that people are able to access or are able to have better access to services and what have you in the places of their own comfort and whatnot. Next slide. The other area also that is very crucial that the DDM is looking at is the infrastructure engineering. This one talks to issues of bulk infrastructure installation, the delivery of services such as your water and sanitation, your roads and what have you, in all the key strategic areas for issues of proper sustainable livelihood, and also to make sure that people are able to get all the required services as enshrined in the Constitution, as well as our integrated development plans. The last one, or the next issue is the integrated service provisioning. I've already spoken to that. And the last one is the governance and management, which by all means, we are trying to envisage and to make sure that we have proper financial management and performance management systems to govern prudent usage of finances in our municipalities. And safe to say that as for Ehlanzeni district and its local municipality, we have been comforted by the fact that all our 4 local municipalities were able to achieve an unqualified audit opinion, although with matters of emphasis, but we can safely say that they are moving towards getting clean audit, and we do believe that in a long run, they will be able to get the clean audits like the district municipality that has obtained now, I think, a streak of almost 7 clean audits in a row. And it's also one of the 16 best performing municipalities currently in the country and whatnot, as per the assessment done by Cocta National. Can we move to the next slide? Now, just at a high level, to indicate that the DDM is already institutionalized within the district and its local municipalities. We have got political champions from national and provincial who were appointed by the presidency and what have you, but also to deal with issues of promoting transparency and accountability on the implementation of the model, to unlock any blockages that may impede development of communities, and also to guide the district in terms of what needs to be done in the near future, in the midterm, as also and also in the long term and what have you. At the district level, the executive mayor of Ehlanzeni, her worship Councillor Chester Seidel is a political champion, and at the local municipality level, all the executive mayors of the 4 local municipalities are the political champions at that particular level. Next slide. Just to put the names of our political leadership, national political champions, we have got a Deputy Minister for Dalrad, Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, Honorable Mcebisi Skwacha. And at the provincial political champion, we have the Department of Health, Honorable Sasekani Manzini, the MEC for Health, and at the district level, I've already highlighted that we have got Honorable Councillor Chester Seidel, the District Executive Mayor, City of Mbombela, Honorable Sbongile Makushe, the Executive Mayor there, Honorable Sylvia Ngumalo for Pushback Rish, Local Municipality, Honorable Pindile Makakula for Nkomas Local Municipality, and lastly, Honorable Frida Nkadimeng for Tabacho Local Municipalities. These are all the champions that are looking into the district development model. Now, coming to the demographic profile of our district, we're sitting at about 1.8 million currently. The youth population is about 1.2 million. Women comprise 210,000 people, as opposed to the men counterparts, which are at about 844. Indeed, like as it was presented by the earlier leadership, that women are many in these districts where we are staying. Insofar as HIV and AIDS, 37% amongst pregnant women, and unemployment rate, we're sitting at about 36.4%, which really signal that there's a big challenge around unemployment and poverty. And the poverty, it's about 56.8%. Indeed, there's a lot of challenges that we are facing. The crime stats, referring to Q1 of financial year 2022-23, we have recorded 313 cases for rape, murder cases about 107 cases, and all these affected largely our female counterparts. And indeed, this warrants the importance of this women session that we are having here today and whatnot. In terms of the economic status, our socio-economic underdevelopment challenges are clearly deep-rooted on the systemic rather than the result of a temporal downturn. The triple challenges being your poverty, unemployment, and inequality are really prevalent in this particular district. What this implies to the district economy is that our response should be able to stimulate an upturn in the growth along the same path, dependent direction as in the past. Change will not come about without some far-reaching intervention, including your recovery plans, especially our district. We had to redo the tourism recovery and the economic recovery plans so that we are in a position to really recover from the challenges that we have. The district should also focus on issues of your radical economic transformation change that we are looking at. The mantra of the developmental strategies that we have in our district is particularly around your social services. We focus on gender mainstreaming issues, which outlines the below mentioned objectives, promote prevention and mitigation of gender-based, advance the needs, identification and developmental priorities, advocate gender equality, ensure that gender mainstreaming across all government departments is happening, promote process of women advancement and empowerment, conduct gender research that will inform service delivery and create enabling environment for delivery of local government. Next slide. We can go to the next slide. These are the budgets that, as Ehlanzeni, we have set aside for this particular financial year. It amounts to 4.2 million. Can we please go back to the slide? Yes. We had a Widowhood rights program where we have allocated about 200,000. We have realized that there is people who are widows in our districts are somehow isolated. We felt that we should really bring them close. This particular sector is very crucial, and what have you, we already have celebrated the widowhood rights and what have you, and the decision was that we are now going to integrate the Widowhood project in our SDB moving forward as one of the sector that needs to be celebrated and have its priorities prioritized in our IDPs. The Women's Month, a budget of about 250,000 that has been allocated. The celebration of the 16 days of activism against women and children, we have 200,000 set aside. The Women Capacity Building Program, we understand the need to make sure that our women are capacitated in terms of businesses, all the way through to owning their own SMME or establishing their own SMME in ensuring that they are able to explore opportunities within the district. We also have a program on youth digital literacy workshop that aims at looking at young people and what have you. We have set aside a budget of 150,000. We have then, in terms of or in line with the IDP representative forum of the district, all our executive mayors agreed that municipalities should set aside about 1.5 million for each municipality that will deal with matters of gender-based violence and femicide. As eHlanzeni, we really have had a lot of challenges, a number of killings that took place as a result of gender-based violence and femicide and what have you. And again, on HIV and TB program, there was a decision that 1.5 million should also be set aside for each municipality and what have you. And the total budget that we have as eHlanzeni is 4.2 million. We do believe that in the outer years and what have you, that budget is going to increase dramatically. May I request that we move to the next slide? And on issues of GPVF, the approach that we are having as eHlanzeni is a multi-sector stakeholders approach. And as trained by the Department of Women and Youth, we have agreed that we are going to establish gender-based violence and femicide rapid response task team from the district level and also throughout our local municipalities. We are currently in the process. As I speak, next week, there will be a number of launches of these particular structures that will be taking place, starting with the district municipality and what have you. But this multi-pronged rapid response task team comprises of our EDM, our district, our local municipality, civil society, the Women's Council, Commission on Gender Equality, Family Advocates, Ward AIDS Council, South African Police Service, Department of Social Development, Department of Basic Education, Department of Home Affairs, Health, Department of Correctional Services, traditional leaders, the men's forums, as well as the Brothers for Life. These are all structures that we're going to be looking at to formulate these rapid response task teams as advocated by the Department of Women and Youth at the level of national. Next slide. And we are saying in general, all these programs, the issues of gender, the issues of women are part of our DDM. And as we speak, we have got 7 functional work streams. One of the work stream that we have is your social needs work stream that caters issues of your GPVF, issues of women and whatnot. And we are saying we are working in a collaboration with all the affected stakeholders in dealing with the issues of the scourge of the triple challenges as well as the gender-based violence. One flagship project that we have at eHlanzeni currently, we are aware that we have got the tertiary institution being the Mpumalanga University, TVET colleges, as well as the Tshwane University of Technology. We are looking at the students as our focus area who are actually experiencing issues of your rape and these GPVF matters and whatnot. We'll be training some of the safety officers from the places of the residences where these students are allocated. We have already started having workshops with them and what have you. We have seen that the scourge is very rife to these students that are in these particular tertiary institutions and what have you. So we are currently busy working with them in trying to strengthen how as government we can actually keep down the levels of GPVF amongst our young people, especially women in this particular area. And I want to also indicate to this platform that our budget is also talking to these particular priorities as approved by our leadership and our council. Next slide. We envisage that by year 2050, in our society, there will be no abject poverty, there will be no hunger, and that will have improved standards of living and where conditions enable all to fulfill their human potential. Collaborative, innovative approaches to child, youth, and women and community development will be in abundance. This is our vision that we are having within the district development model. We are also saying we'll increase learning opportunities by 15%, we'll increase employment opportunities by 25%, and lower unemployment by 25% by year 2030. We'll increase households' income by 20% and by 30% by 2050. Decrease incidence of gender-based violence by 30% by 2023. And this is so, especially within Ehlanzeni district. I think some of you had seen a lot of cases. We were on TV for issues around GPVF and what have you. So our leadership has taken serious strides that we really want to leave and ensure that we achieve these targets. Next slide, please. All LMs and districts have well-established and active forums and networks available to challenge GPVF by 2022. Currently, we are having a draft strategy that we are busy consulting, and we do believe that that shall be approved before end of the the third quarter, and what have you, and that our local municipalities will also be assisted to have their own localized GPVF strategies and what have you. All LMs and the district are using a uniform communication mechanism that is monitored and measured against its efficacy and success rate through yearly customer satisfaction survey and bi-yearly good governance surveys starting in 2022. And these are some of the systems that we are putting in place. Next slide, please. Can we also move to the next slides as well? And we are also saying, as all LMs and districts, we are going to ensure active forums and networks. I think I've already spoken to this one. It's probably the repetition and what have you. And we are saying the district development plan was developed and approved by council on the 27th of May 2022 under council resolution 837/21. The development of the IDP has been aligned to both the district development model and our other district development plans that we have. The district has the structures in place to enhance advocacy and mainstreaming of gender issues in the development program of government. Next slide, please. I think in a nutshell, more or less, this is our summary presentation as Ehlanzeni, but safe also to indicate, just like Nkangala has presented, that we do have opportunities for our women counterpart in the form of the SMME program that we have as Ehlanzeni, and we also have programs such as pavement of our internal streets, where also we are looking at our SMMEs, particularly our women SMMEs, to make sure that they also participate in those particular opportunities. We also have SMMEs that are dealing with issues of emerging farming and what have you on agricultural, where we provide mentorship, we provide support to those SMMEs, and what have you. We do have ample number of SMMEs that are coming from all 4 local municipalities, and predominantly these SMMEs comprise of our women in those particular areas. And we are going to be continuing to be supporting our women counterparts in the structures that they really benefit from the supply chain management processes of the municipality and what have you. And I think with those few words, Chairperson, let me take this opportunity to thank you for affording us as a Ehlanzeni district an opportunity to present our plan on the DDM in how we are really coming close to addressing the challenges that are facing our women in the district. And thank you very much, Chairperson. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tibane. We are continuing to Hertzibande District Municipality. Mr. Lungsizwe Mkwanazi is the one who's going to give us a presentation. Please stick to the time allocated. It's 20 to 2. If you can, I'm giving you 20 minutes. By 5 to 2, you must be done with your presentation. Over to you, Mr. Mkwanazi.
Well, thank you very much, Chairperson. As it has already been said, my name is Lungsizwe Mkwanazi from Hertzibande District Municipality. I would like to also observe all the protocols, Chair. Where I would like to start, Chair, I would like to apologize, Chairperson, on behalf of our Executive Mayor, Babu Walter Mngomezulu. Chair, we received the presentation quite late. I think it was due to some issues, Chair, and we would like to request the House to allow us to send the presentation at a later stage, Chair. We were unable to prepare for this meeting, Chair. Our apologies for the Chairperson.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mkwanazi. In other words, Gertsi Bande is going to send us a presentation in a later stage. We are continuing with our program. I'm going to hand over to the interpreters to just give the summary for what the Executive Mayor for the presentation from Kangala and Ehlanzeni, what was all about.
Siyathokoza ngizokhunyeza lokho ebekukhulunywa ngubaba uSipho Shongwe ovela eHlanzeni ukhulume nge-district development model ekulihlelo ke umasipala weHlanzeni analo lokuthuthukisa umphakathi wakhuluma ke nangenhlangano ebabambisana nazo nangeminqopho ebanayo nenhlangano lezo ebasebenzisana nayo ukuthi bavule amathuba wokuthi kwethulelwe imiphakathi imisebenzi kwenziwe namaphenyo ngokuthi kuyini okudingeka emphakathini bese ke kuba nehlelo elihlanganisa imisebenzi elethwa ngumasipala nenhlangano lezi ebasebenzisana nazo okhunye ke kube ukuthi baqinisa njani ukubusa nokuphatha kilezo indawo umasipala aphethe kizo ubaleke nezinto ezisithandathu ebasebenzela phezukwazo ebafuna ukuthi kulethwe amachuguluko ngazo ubale ubujamo bemnotho ukuchugulula ubujamo bomnotho nokuchugulula izinto nofana ukubuyisela izinto esigeni ngemva kokudlula kwe-COVID-19 wakhuluma nangendawo abantu abangahlala kizo ngaphasi kwalo masipala ukuthi abantu bangamane bangene noma kiziphi indawo bese wakhuluma nangomthangala sisekelo ukuthuthukiswa nokwakhiwa komthangala sisekelo ngaphasi kwalo umasipala ubuye godu wakhuluma njengoba sengithile ukuthi ukhuluma ngendlela yokuthi kumele kuthuthukiswe njani imakhiwo yakamasipala nokuphakelwa kwamanzi njengoba lokho bakuthola kumthetho sisekelo wenarha le wakhuluma nangokuthi umasipala kufanele aphathe njani imali zawo wakhuluma nangokuthi umasipala uthole umbiko omuhle wezokuphathwa kwemali begodu ke uyawuthokozisa ngalokho uqhuquzela neminye imasipala ukuthi ke yenze njalo nayo wakhuluma nangokuthi umengameli ukhombe abantu ababizwa ngama political champion watsho ukuthi bo sekela la kaNgqongqotjhe umcebisi Skwatsha enarheni zombelele wababalake nabanye abakhona kibo masipala lo avela kiwo ukuthi bobani laba abakhonjwe njengabo ama political champions wabala nokuthi umasipala wabo unabantu abangangani wabala nabantu kilo masipala abasemhlagweni abaphila ngaphasi komhlago abaphila nobulwelwe be-HIV AIDS wabala nembalobalo zobulelesi ebahlangabezana nazo ngaphakathi komasipala lo wabala ke nabantu abanganamathuba womsebenzi ngaphakathi kwalendawo ukhulume nange sabelo mali ebanaso kilo masipala esicalene namahlelo waboma nelinye ihlelo le 16 days of activism lapho kumalanga alitshumi nesithandathu okulwisana nokuhlukunyezwa kwabomma nabentwana. Wakhuluma godi nangebudget ebanayo nofana isabelo mali ebanaso esizokuhlomisa abomma, abantu abatsha, nokuthi bakhone ukulwisana nalomguruguru oqalene nezobulili, balwisane ne-HIV. Okhunye akhulume ngakho ukuthi kilo masipala bane sichema nofana i-tax team ezokuqalana nokulwisana nomguruguru wezobulili, begodu ke isichema leso sizokuhlonywa emavekeni azako la. Kodwa uveze nokuthi bazokusebenzisana nomphakathi mayelana nokungalingani, nokuqeda ukungalingani, umtlhago nokungasebenzi kwabantu. Ubale nokuthi ke banehlelo lokuthi baqale lapha kuhlala khona abafundi, khulukhulu abafundi ababendazana abasenkolweni eziphakemeko lapha abahlangabezana khona nomguruguru lo wezobulili. Uveze nokuthi ke kunamahlelo abawenzako ukuthi abantwana babendazana bavikeleke enkolweni. Ukhulume nangama opportunity ke amathuba azokuphiwa amabhizinisi wabomma ekuthuthukiseni umnotho, khulukhulu abomma labo abasebubulweni lezokulima namanye akhona emphakathini. Ngiyathokoza.
Oh, okay. The next session now, I'm going to take hands, or maybe the interpreters, there's something you want to? It's not finished?
No, I'm done.
From the interpreters, are you done? Oh, okay.
Njenganje isizo zandla ezihlanu ezivela emphakathini, niza kuphakamisa izandla ke ni nakhona enifuna ukukutsho bese bayakukhomba uyeza ngaphambili uzokukhuluma.
Okay, indaba yezandla izohamba kanje. I'm going to take 10, ngizothatha 10 kule side. Ngiqede ngithathe 10 ngapha bese siyavala. Uma kunama comment noma imbuzo kodwa angeke si responde namhlanje kuleyo mbuzo ezobe iraisiwe. Ngicela ke abanama comment nembuzo baphakamisa izandla. Umuntu makeza la uzozokhuluma khona azisho ukuthi ubani ubuya kuphi. Cela ukuqala ke kule side leli. This side first. Ngapha ningema kancane ne ngizoqala ngapha. Mangiqeda ngapha.
We don't allow councillors to ask questions here. We don't allow councillors to ask questions here. MMC, back to your chair.
No councillors here.
You have access to us. The people must ask questions.
Dumelang, lebitso la ka ke Patricia Moari from Dr. J.S. Moroka, Ward 17. Patricia.
Greetings, my name is Patricia Moari.
From Dr. J.S. Moroka, Ward 17.
From Ward 17, J.S. Moroka.
Nandwe ke kgopelang today, ke kgopela taba ya Women's Charter, as re thabetse today, re bona from the parliament, re kgopela hore e lende e tle ka mo dimasepaleng tsa rena, re create the information because dilo di a diragala ko parlamenteng a re kgone go fitlha kwale.
My request today is that the Women's Charter, as we always see it on TV, it be brought to us because we can see that things are happening, but they are far from us. We are unable to can reach them. So we are asking that it be brought to us.
Sa bobedi, the department di a re faila, re le bomme.
Now, secondly, as women, the departments are failing us.
So re kgopela gore this charter e dire monitoring system ge e le gore di department di tlisa any service mo bathong.
Now, we are asking that this charter should do a monitoring system if the departments are providing us with services.
Se seng gape se re se kgopelang re le bomme, re kgopela safety ya rena le bana ba rena mo fatshe mo.
Now, the other thing that we are asking as women is that our safety as women and children be ensured.
As le tseba gore re na le baeng ba ba tswang mafatsheng a ko ntle a e leng gore ga ba tsebalagala, ba bang ba bereka mo di departmenteng, ba bang ba utswa bana, ba bang ba bolaya bomme le bana. So that is why ke kgopela that safety also.
Now, as we all know that we have people who come from outside countries, whom some work in the departments, some even still children. So that is the reason why I am asking that our protection be ensured.
Ke tsene tabeng ya NPA. NPA ya re faila ka mo tlase ga bomme ba e leng gore ba dependa go di maintenance. NPA ya re faila because the maintenance tsa rena di leader ke batho ba bontate ba dira corruption ka di case tsa bomme.
My other complaint is regarding the NPA. The NPA is failing us as women who have claims that relate to maintenance, because those claims are being handled by men who are involved in corruption.
The tenders, as babuletse ba office ya premier gore go na le the tenders, go na le the funding, whatever. Re na le problem, re na le challenge mo Dr. James Mroka. If you don't have any family from the government, you can't get that.
Before we continue, ngicela bonke abazokhuluma just take 3 minutes ngoba and summarize what you want to. You can just wrap up, please, because of the time. If we can just take 3 minutes each.
Get order. We don't have a problem, whatever you want to come and raise here. What we are saying, you've got 3 minutes. And in 3 minutes, you can say everything that you want to say. So we don't have a problem because we are not here to defend anyone. We want to hear the issues so that we can also take it forward. But you have 3 minutes and your 3 minutes have passed.
Okay. Now, her last point was that they have a problem with tenders because it seems as if you are not connected or well connected, you will not get any tender.
As long as leka monitor mmereko lena all over dileng otle, we appreciate that.
I thank you, honorables. We will be happy if you can monitor all of the work that you have just mentioned. Thank you.
There was a lady here. You can come because there is no other hands that side. If there is anyone that still want to ask a question, come sit here, or there is chairs in front. Come sit in front. Yes, ma'am.
Greetings.
Nna ke nna Khomotso Mako,
My name is Komoto Mako
ke tswa Ward 16, Dr. J.S. Moroka, local municipality.
from Ward 16, Dr. J.S. Moroka, municipality.
Nna ne ke kgopela gore ke tshwaele ka mo lefapheng le le re tlhokometseng, ke bolela ka safety.
Now, I would like to comment regarding the safety department.
Ne ke kgopela gore ka ge le re le tlo tšea le tšwetše pele di fitlhe ko di tshwanetseng go ya ko gona. Lefapha la Morena Motlhomphegi be ke qene.
Now,
Now,
since
can
you
I ask
said-
can I ask our language people to allow the person to use the 3 minutes and then you interpret because it's for us.
Ke a leboga, mama. Go botlhoko bjang gore o kitimišwa goba o bona makhelwana ga wa le ka hara mathata o re wa mo thuša ka 2 o'clock ya matsha le ya police station le fitla police station le kokota o ka re le kokota ka ntlong le eme le re koko go sena wa le bulelang le kokote sebaka le re mona le kokotile ebile le lapile le bona go tswalela vene ge e fitla ke gona ba le bulela madimabe kore le kry-a ngwana ba tshwana noši ka mo police station ga na noši gore nna kgale ke le bona nka se le bulele ke sa tsebe gore le tlile ka eng ka gore maphodisa a bolawa so ne ke kgopela gore mo gongwe le re boleleng bathong maphodisa a oketswe go oketswe le didiriswa tša bona ka gore vene tše pedi tše tharo e nngwe e tla ya kwa go na le accidente e nngwe ya road blockong e nngwe ya kae ge o fitlha ka police station a ona vene o tla dula di-hour ka moka tše o tlabeng o di dutse o duletse gore ba re o emetse vene ne re kgopela gore ba re thuše tlhe bana ba gona mo gong a ba hirwe ge e le gore go a kgonagala ba ye ba thuše ka gara di-police station nna ke re maphodisa a ba bereke o ka no re a ba bereke ge o dutse ka tlasa motlhare ba feta dira molato wena ba nyake wena o tlo bona gore ba a bereka ke a leboga.
Okay, I would like to make a point regarding the police. I would also like to emphasize the fact that it is very much painful when you find that your neighbor is in trouble and you are unable to help. So you would accompany your neighbor to the police, you get there and knock, but there is no response. Only after some time, you would then see the police vehicle arriving. And when they open for you, you'll find that inside the police station, there's only one police officer who would then tell you that he's been watching you knocking all along, but he or she was scared to open for you, as it is known that police officers are being killed. So my request is that the number of police officers be increased, as well as the equipment that they use. That also includes vehicles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, I think I appreciate the lady was here. She just to the point and she only took 2 minutes. Next, I'm using my timer now. Okay, you can start.
Sanibonani. Okhulumayo lo ngusibongile Mahlangu khona lana ku Ward 9 kuMoroka. Mina bengizokhuluma regarding ama power shares. Bengicela ku parliament ukuthi basi assist ngama power shares ngoba we are struggling, we as people with disabilities. More especially as I'm a field worker, so I'm getting struggling ngoba ngiyayithenga kahle kahle. I'm sure 4 years back ngazithengela 48,000. So now I'm having a challenge here, power share. Number 2, Lana connects to the hall. We are having a workshop for people with disabilities. We are still requesting cabinet ukuthi sina people with disabilities abayenza imsebenzi yezandla, so sini challenge yemshini le ebayenza ngayo izandla like ama fencing machine nawo astakile, so besicela nje i-assistance. My last request, besicela ke kakhulukazi namathuba omsebenzi for abantu abakhubazekile ukuthi if kukhona amathuba besibawa kakhulu ke nje ukuthi babe ngama first priorities. Ngiyabonga.
So my name is Sibongile Mahlangu. I'm from Ward 9. I'm just having a request to the Women Charter to help us with power shares, to assist us with power shares. As a person living with disability, I'm encountering problems with power shares. Already now I have bought power shares with 48,000. And the next thing I want to also mention is that next to the hall, we have workshops of disabled people. The problems that also we are encountering is with regards to the machines we use there, like for instance, the fencing machines. They have stuck. We are no longer able to use them because they have stuck now. The request that I have also is that please, as people with disability, we are pleading to the government to help us with job opportunities. When those opportunities arises, please may we be the first priority.
Thank you. Next. I think it's-
Dumelang ka moka, ba bagolo le ba ba leng gona ka moka le ba banyane, le dumediša ke nna Leta Kekana, mo Dr. Jace Moroka, Kamal Refer B, Ward 10. Nna ka ge šetše o ke berekišana le yena boletše tše dingwe, le nna ne ke kgopelo okeletša ka tše dingwe. Re na le bothata ka di-transporto, ge re namela di-taxi nako nngwe ba re šia mo ditseleng, nako nngwe ba re botša gore di-taxi tša bona ga di na space, nako nngwe ga ba phutha di-wheelchairs go sena motho o a go thušang, motho wa gona ga phutha wheelchair wa ikgaramela, wheelchair e be e qine e kgetloga mohlomong phatsi e nngwe. And then go ba bohloko mo go rena ka re ge re sena le tšona di-wheelchair tše a gona motho a ka re pušang right through re a tlhaka ka re le diatla tša rena ga di bereke, disability ya rena e ka mokgwa e leng ka mokgwa le re bonang. Le ge re namela ko direnkeng awa batho ba ba re felela dipelo, ba re rabelang ka pela, ba re hlogobetsa ka tsela e sa kwešišagaleng, re ferekana mo moyeng. Gape ne ke kgopela gore le ko dibankeng go na le dibanka tše ding tše re ka se di boleleng ka mabitso, rena batho ba ba re nang le disability a re kgone di godimo so, and then gore di be fase a ke tsebe le ka bolela bjang le bona ka re le rena re a zama gore re ba botse gore disability e swanetše gore e be le ditafola tša mo fasenyana re kgone gore re saene gabotse. And then ba bang ba ba re thušang mo di-ATM le bona ba re felela dipelo. And then gape a ba nagane gore disability ka bontši ba bang ga ra rutega ga re kgone go berekiša metšhini ye ya di-ATM go kgotla ba bang mahlo ga a bone gabotse. And then ba re felela dipelo, ne ke kgopela gore palamente le gona mo dibankeng mo e fihle, and then e re kgopelele gore awa le disability le seke la itswallela ka ntle, le ithuše mo e kgopelang teng, e thušeng ka re la ba bona gore ke batho ba ba bjang ga rate tira. And then re te kamogetše ka mogoreleng tše ntši mmerekišane le nna o di boletše, ke a leboga.
Greetings to the Member of Parliament, the House at large. My name is Leta Kekana. I'm from Kamel Refir, Ward 10. My plea is regarding the transport. We are experiencing a very serious problem which causes us an emotional trauma, whereby when you fetch a taxi, you'll be experiencing a problem whereby it's either the passengers or the driver will be complaining about the space that you'll be occupying, and thereby when some are becoming impatient to the extent that when you are using your wheelchair, he who is willing to assist, sometimes they destroy our wheelchairs because they are impatient and not willing to assist to such an extent that is causes a emotional trauma to ourselves. I'm also going to plead you to speak to the staff that working at the banks, because sometimes you enter the bank, you find that you are unable to reach. Some of the things are unreachable to your height or as to your state. We are unable to write or to use some desk or some other facilities. Some will be assisting us in the ATMs whereby you cannot see clearly. Sometimes you cannot reach those buttons, but no one is just willing to assist. Everybody else is so impatient with us. Please pass that message so that people can be cooperative, at least feel for us, sympathize with us, because the way we didn't make ourselves to be here or to be facing this kind of situations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Lochanoke. Igama lami nginguRebecca Mnguni from Ward 8 Mthambotini. Ngizokulochisa zonke inkhambeli zethu zeParliament nabo bonke abakhona. Kokuthoma engizokubawa ngokuthi sibomama eParliament ake sijameleke ngendaba nasiye iminyaka. Chukuthi wabana 35 years, chukuthi sowulahliwe sosemgqonyini. Akusena la kufanele yokusebenza khona. Wabana 35 years fanele yokulinda ipension. Uyokuphila ngani? Fanele ulinde kwamasipala bafuna abantu bokudobha amaphepha ngoba lapha bafaki age. Bafuna abantu bane standard 8. Ene wena ngapha ufundile netweqiwe eminyaka. Nisilungisele yona. Number 2. I-Women's Charter ke isihelebhe nganakho. Bayeza abantu i-Women's Parliament yini basithembisa amabhizinisi wenu ini kunini salinda anibuyi nikhambela futhi namhlanje nikhambele futhi anibuyi okhunye engizokutsho abomama asakavikeleki ngoba kokuthoma na ungumama wathola umberegwanyana endleleni sobona ngabantu sebayatoyitoya bayitoyitoyela wena ukuthi ngumama uthole njani umberego mara kwavela indoda angekhe abomama kunokuthi bavikelane abavikelani kuthoma bona bagijime phambili bokulwisa omunye umama Women's Charter case helebe kenisibeke phambili njengabomama nathi sifuna ukuthathelwa phezulu ngiyathokoza.
Greetings to the members of Parliament. My name is Rebecca Mnguni. I'm from here in Dr. J.S. Moroka. I just want us as women to be well represented in Parliament. We've got a problem with the issue of the age restriction of 35. If there are posts that are advertised, you'll find that always the restriction is between 18 and 35. So does that mean that after 35 you are not supposed to work, you are not supposed to do anything? And the other thing is that as women we have the pull head down syndrome. If I can get a job now as a woman, people will think that I done wrong things to get that job. Can that also be addressed? And then the other thing is that as you have come today, it's not for the first time such a gathering. We have such a gathering. People have came before and made some promises, but those promises were never fulfilled. So they've made promises regarding our businesses. They have promised to empower us, but that has never happened. Thank you.
Kialudumedisha bobote wabolela nke onila mabena mo Ward 26 loading ko Dr. J.S. Moroka. Nna ke ema ka polelo e boletseng ke mama mola ya tšhelete e tswelang bana ba reng ba ya sekolong. Ke bona o ka re number e ba e beyang ke e nnyane ho fitlhela e tshwara bomme ya rena matsoho, ha ba kgone ho itse hore ka tšhelete eo ba tseye bana ba ba kanang kang. Ka re mo Dr. Jess Mroka ke 1 ho fitlha ko 31. Ke bona o ka re le e oketse nomoro ya bana bao hore ba tlo kgona hore ba re thushe bo botle. Point e nngwe hape ke ya hore ba e boletse mo pele ke utlwile ba re malapa a mantši ha ho berekiwe. Ke nnete, re le bomme ebile re le batlholohadi, ebile bana ba bangwe ha bana mma ha bana papa mo malapeng he re tsamaya. Ne re khopela hore he le thusha le tsenelle thata hore masepala wa rena o kgone ho re thusha ka re felleletsa re ilwa le bona e bane tšhelete ke e nnyane ha ba kgone ho re thusha bo botle. Ke a leboga.
Greetings. My name is Omila Mabena from Oding, JS Moroka. Now, my grievance is regarding the money that is being used to help children and to ferry them to school. Now, my worry is that the number that is actually catered for is from 1 to 31. So I am asking that that number be increased so that it can also accommodate a huge number of children, because most of people in our families are unemployed, and most kids do not have parents. So we actually need such assistance. So I am asking for the government intervention in that regard. I thank you.
Just for clarity, is it about the subsidy? Is it about the subsidy?
Yes, it is about the transport
For scholar
subsidy.
transport, the subsidy.
Yes.
Dumelang ba botlhe ka le dumedisa. Ke nna Evelyn Mthembu go tswa kwa wa 27 ko Katjibane le Siabe. Nna ke le Evelyn Mthembu ke tswa kowe. Ke utlwa botlhoko ka jeno gobane re tlile mo re le bomme ko re tswang go teng go boima go bothata. Ke complaina ka taba ya sepodisi. Mo strateng se ke nna mo sona ke strata sa Dinyaope. Dinyaope tsewe ka mo di rekisiwang ka mo teng ha re fetse beke station commander sa kwa Mametla ke seng ke se ka mo motseng oo. Se nwa ditee ka mowe, se dira dilo tso tlhana ka mowe. Bana ba Dinyaope ba rutswetsa ho ya ko police station e maphodisa batla. He ba fitla he ba lebella ngwana la ba re o a re motse o ja Dinyaope, wena o tla bona plan o re tswa bang ka yena. Ho bitswa community ya bolaya. Community he bolaya ngwana la ba boa ba tla maphodisa ba rene le sa tshwanna mmolaya mola bona ba motloetse. Ka mo motseng wo ho rekisiwang Dinyaope, nna ile ka mo emisa station commander ka re papa wa ema ka he ke le mme le nna ka mo jareteng ka mo ke nnang ka mo teng ke na le ho ne le ngwana kwa sesteraka le na o mo stla mo sona sewe le hana ba no he ke le mo ke a itsure ke fitla kwa ko ke ra ntho engwe ste he ke ba bitsa ke re etlang ba ra a o re biletsa o wa o ja Dinyaope nna re tlo mo fanga re fitla mo ka re he re motseri o nna 2 days to 3 days o a tlhokofala ka re tshwantsa tlhabe na re nne ntho ka re station commander o tla mo fa ke re ke ena e dilibang ka mo motseng ole. Station commander a re mo nna a re ke bolela o ka re nna ko moholo ka mo parlamenteng wa maphodisa ka re ho ka o no ho bolela bja o mara ka le lengwe la matšatši le tla o fitlhela letšatši ka re le tla o fitlhela a re mo nna re a se selo ga o ne ntho o tlo e dira ga o ne tšhelete ka re ga ke na tšhelete eng ga ke bereke mara bereka mmereko wa gago go bontsha gore o berekela setšhaba ke tlo leboa bomme ka jeno he le kgonne go re bitsa le re biletsa gore re tle re ipopeng re le basadi community a re bereke ka mo palamente ga re bereke re a gopela nna re gopela di-project le re thuseng mo le re thusang mo teng ka tšhelete ela ya di-project re tshwane le batho ba bangwe ke a leboga.
Greetings. My name is Evelyn Mtembu from Ward 27 in Kachibani and Siabe. Now, in our area, we are facing difficulties.
We can't hear if all of us speak. Please, ma'am and ladies.
Okay.
Please, ladies.
Okay.
Allow us because we can't hear if all of us speak.
The street that I stay at is infested by Nyaupe users. Now, the house in which these drugs are being sold, the station commander of the area always frequents that house and drinks tea in there. And there was a time whereby I complained to the station commander, but I couldn't get any help. Now, since we are not getting any help from the police, the community ends up taking the law into its hands and killing the poor children who are hooked on drugs. In our family, we have such a kid, and I tried to speak to the police, specifically the station commander, but he was so arrogant and unhelpful. So I am asking for your intervention in this regard, and also regarding the project that help our needy families. We will very much appreciate it if we could also benefit from it, because we are unemployed. I thank you.
Ke le dumedisha ka moka, lebitso la ka ke Sophia wa Matlala, ke tswa Ward 19, Ugukhanya, Dr. JS Moroka. Na ke tlo toucha mo pointing e boletseng ke the previous speaker, ka taba ya age restriction. Ya re go batša re le bomme. Re kwešiša gore go na le dilo tše ba di bitsang internships, go na le di-learnership. Learnership e go fa skill, internship e go fa experience. Go bohloko re le bomme o le over 35, ga o nyaka mmereko ba re nyaka experience. Ga o re o ya internshipping for experience ba go botša gore you are over, you don't qualify. So e bohloko re a kgopela gore nke le reviewe a sore a rena bokgoni, especially ba ba leng gore ba phela ka bogolofadi. I am one of them. Ke a tseba challenge ya gore ga o nyaka mošomo, you cannot just get any job that you want. You have to look at your physical challenge. So it is very painful. Re kgopela gore le reviewe. Ra tseba gore le mo di internship le di program masepala wa rena o ka se absorb everyone, but at least ga le re fa tsebo yeo le bokgoni bo re ka kgona go ya go di private sector re lo apply re ya kgopela. Ke a leboga.
Greetings to everybody, the house at large. My name is Sophia Matlala from Ward 19. What I'm going to talk about is what my colleague has already highlighted, that is regarding the age restriction. It's very harmful, it's very painful, especially for people with disabilities. This age restriction, you get programs like learnership, whereby skills will be acquired. You'll be given an opportunity to be well equipped for skills. You get programs like internship where experience will be acquired. But in neither of this, you don't qualify because of age. It's even worse with people who are facing physical challenge, who are disabled. Please review this thing. We know that it is legislation, but please review it so that we can have equal opportunities. Please review that. That's my plea. Thank you.
Dumelang. Nna ne ke kgopela school transport, especially mo baneng ba banyane, cause bana ba rena ba travela tsela e telele mola lefatshe la rena le sa le shenne meno. And se seng hape se ke ratang ho se kgopela hape.
Mang sesi? Identify yourself.
Oh, ke sibongile mamu Gabi ko nukaning o 28. And se seng hape se ke ratang ho se kgopela ke malapa a senang batswadi a tlhokometseng ke di-social worker. Na ke kgopela hore le ka go pusha di-social worker hore di ske di a tseya nako ho etela malapa a tshwanang le ale, cause re bona mathata. Ke a leboha.
Greetings. My name is Sibongile Mamukab from Ward 28. Now, my plea is regarding school transport. We would like school transport to be provided, especially for small children, since we all know that crime is so rife in our country. Now, my other plea is regarding the visitation from social workers to the families or that are living in poverty, because they really need help. I thank you.
Rally Dumedisha, Libito Lakaki Roslyn Apani from Ward 16. Khopelo ya ka ke re khopela di containers from the rural villages tse le gobane they are working over long distances go kry di services. From example ke bolela ka Lefiswane a ba kgone go fitlhella Saps, ndane ke tlo bolela ka Troya le ge le bane ke wa Ward 16. But ke bolela ka di villages tse le gobane go checka our people ba hoka from long distances gore ba kreye go fihla ko. Sometimes ba hike motho o kgona go tloga hike 8 ga tloga hike ka 8 a swantse a fihle home affairs go ba le problem. I mean Saps re khopela di container go di mogamo. And then engwe gape ke social grant. Social grant in a serious monitoring, whereby who create to community arena. When coming to social grant, but ba misuse the social grant. O kare lo bane batho ba rena a ke tse borena monitoring e re ka khona go idira bjang gore at least re khone go thusha our communities. Ba khona go beya motsofe ka gae ba meya ka morago ga lebati. Then o krea ba tšea tšhelete ya motsofe ba te khula ka yona ya tshwana le ya disability grant le child support grant. Go na le bana ba borena ba ile go bane batho ba golla bana mare ge re a tsamaya re tsena ka mo metseng ka mo re kry le bane bana ba na le problem ya gore bana ga ba tlhokomediwe ga ba ishiwe di-crècheng batho ba betha dikarata ka di grant tšhelete ya bana or ya batsofe goba ya batho ba ba disabled. Ntwe ke kgopelang mo tabeng ya batho ba ba disabled le batho ba bagolo. Ke kgopela gore go ka ba jwang le re thushe gore re kgone gore re kry pleke mo ile go bane re ka tla ra kgona gore re ba thushe go be le old age home ye tlo kgona go catera batho ba ba disabled, the old age, including the orphans. Bana ba rena ba sokola ka montle ka mo ke o kra ba kitima le na ga ba hloka ba hlokomedi. Ke tla mo go di RDP houses o khumane le go bane dintlo di gona le gona go nita a serious monitoring. Government ya rena e dira go tletse letsogo gore e thushe batho ba rena. Batho ba rena ba applyela dintlo ga ba fetša go applyela dintlo tšela ga ba dule ka mogare ga tsona. And then e nyaka go hlokomela re tla mo go Home Affairs. Home Affairs le yona e sa le tlhoba boroko mo bathong ba rena. Bathong ba rena. And then o kry le go bane batho ba rena ga ba swantse ba fitlhe di Home Affairs go ba le bothata. And re kry problem ka bana ba di orphans ba ile bana re dula mo di rural area whereby re tswa di plasing ga re tswa di plasing o kry motho mtswadi sala tlhokofala go di plasing ga na even le death certificate go tšea ngwana la o mo isha ka Home Affairs go ba le problem ya gore ba re go nyakega death certificate or go nyakega information ya mo motho a thomile ke sa bolele ka ngwana.
As you conclude,
Okay.
the 3 minutes is over.
Okay.
Greetings. My name is Roslyn Apane from Ward 16. Now, I am asking that our villages be provided with containers, especially places that are far from services. Our people get to walk long distances for them to get services. I'm talking about places like Lefiswani.
Can this water please not disturb us like that? Just give water to everyone.
I'm talking about places like Lefiswani, where people have to go for very long distances for them to can get to the police stations. They have to hitchhike so that they can get to their police stations. Now, I would also like to talk about the social grants. Social grants need monitoring because our people misuse them. Family members would neglect an elderly person and then misuse their social grant for their own benefit. Children's grants, the disabled people's grants and elderly people's grants get misused while the beneficiaries are being neglected. And I would also ask for an orphanage to be built because a lot of our people really need to be taken care of. And I would also like to talk about RDP houses. Our people apply for RDP houses, and when they are issued with such, they do not occupy them. And such houses need to be taken care of. And I would also like to talk about the home affairs, because there are instances where you would find that a parent has passed on, and the deceased actually did not even have an ID. And that would then make it problematic for the child that they had left behind to be taken care of, since that child would also not be having any kind of documentation. I thank you.
Loshani, leo jame ngaphambili ngusibongile Mnguni ohlala eWard 9. Ngokuthoma meya ngizokubawa usizo lwakho ukuthi usihelebhe ngekliniki. Ikliniki isebenza ama-hour amancane and yincane. Ngokuthoma sibanengi la ku-Ward 9 ne-Ward 10 sishare ikliniki A1. Sibawa extend namalanga Saturday until Sunday cause ivalwa Friday. Mangagula njena kusengevaterfal and imizi ayifani. Sometimes anginayo imali ye-transport yokuthi ngiye eVaterfal or ngiye eDenilton or ngiye eMamitlaki. Number 2, indlela le yekliniki nifuna abogogo babe right but i-TB ke indlela le or i-paving inyana sibayo i-Sunrad isirhelebhe nge-paving inyana net phambi kwekliniki inyana apha mthili net lapha kamabhalani sibawa lapho ni-ede nekliniki le yincane because kunabantwana besikala kunabogogo bamapilisi kunabantu aba-pregnant yincane too much ikliniki le. Number 2 kunabantu aba-disabled lapha eMabhoko. I think umeya uyabakhohlwa bakhumbula laba abala estadium abahlala lapha eMabhoko nabo bayalidinga usizo labo lenu lokuthi nibaphe ama-food parcel like i-SRD. And then number 3 ngikhulumela anithi kuneyindandani la ngemzini abantu abatlhagako kune project ebathi siyatentela i-public works. I think nathi ngeyindandani ivalwe njani because ina 7 months abasebenzi besiyatentela abana income engenako abana resources engenako abana ma-food parcel angenako mthago la ngendlini kuma-ward 9 la singenako emzini i-door to door sikhanvasa siloko sitshela amanga abantu loko sibatshela ngombuso wethu wakakhongolose ukuthi uzonenzela. Ngibawa ukuthi umeya akhambe angene i-door to door angenele abantu laba abatlhagako abanganabazali ene abantu besiyatentela babuyele emberegweni. Mr. Mbatha akanankinga uthe sitshela ukhansela nomeya bababisela abantu labo bane-personal number bana-350 abayitholako so benze njani abantu labo kumina njena ngingakazi ngilapho kunjena nginabazali kunjena ngibawa isibhe emzini ukuthi ngigeze ngizokubona umeya kunjena ngizazi ukuthi ngiyokulala ngidleni ngibawa nenze i-door to door for abantu laba abatlhagako nibisele nesiyatentela ningaphunguli ni-ede cause nithe babantu abatlhagako. Thank you, ngiyabonga Ward 9 amandla.
The interpreter, you can interpret the last one. Then I will hand over to the deputy chairperson to do the closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Greetings. My name is Sibongile Mnguni from Ward 9. I would like to request that we be helped with the clinic. We do have a clinic, but then the operating hours, the clinic is only operating during the week and it's not operating during the weekend. So what will happen to me if I get injured on a weekend? Because we don't have a car at home and I won't be able to go maybe to Denelton or Mamitlake Hospital. And then there are also people that you are forgetting from Emma Bogo, people who are also living with disabilities, and she's saying that she thinks the mayor is concentrating on the other group and not attending these other ones from Emma Bogo. And then she's also saying the people from this program called Siatentela, they are out of work. They are not doing anything at the moment, and they've got personal numbers. They are unable to apply for 350s. And she's requesting the mayor to do a door-to-door visit so that she can see families that have got orphans, so that those orphans can also be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I just want to explain how the process is working. We are not the government. We are parliament. But what you are raising, we take them and we also ask the mayors and others that are here to take it up. What we are going to do is to follow up, to make sure whether they have attended to the issues that you have raised. Just to say that I was like saying, I must find out whether we shouldn't have a national dialogue about this issue of people above 35 years that cannot get employment. We have visited 7 provinces up until today. All the provinces raised that issue. All of them. So we are going to take it up at different platforms, but I think we need a national dialogue. People must just tell me at my age, why can't I work? What is wrong with me? They must tell me, because, I mean, even a 35-year-old cannot work as hard as I'm working. And my staff will tell you that. I don't know what is rest. The only time that I rest is when I'm sick or when I'm at home. But people can't be discriminated. That is very clear in our constitution because of age. I know at 35 years possibly there will be some 35-year-olds that cannot run to do this exercise that is needed to become a police person or whatever. But some of us, we are very fit. And I don't know what is wrong that people cannot. I'm just raising this thing because it's something that we have encountered all over. I want to ask the mayor of JS Morocco to take up this issue of power share, because I don't understand what it is all about. Take it up and try to hear what it is about and see how we can assist even Malika as petitions. If we understand this thing of power share, you can take it up with them. The other issues are issues generally that we must take to departments. I think the police is represented here on the issue of mobile services. That people say, you say container, but even if you have a container and if you don't have the service, what can you do? So on the issue of mobile services, maybe the issue of police can also be taken up. The other things we will take up with the province and the nation now to see that we take it up. You have raised very valid issues, but it's issues that is all over the problems. We were just in Eastern Cape on Monday, and last week Friday we were in Queenstown, and Monday in PE. The issue of the drugs is an issue that is being raised all over. The issue of safety in our communities is an issue that is being raised all over. The issue of particularly poverty amongst women and children, it's issues that are being raised. So in actual fact, in our report, we will be raising these issues, but all of your MMCs are here, all of them, ward councillors, all of them are here. I think from JS Morocco, we will get a very good report as to how they have dealt with your issues. So let me express our appreciation to you, all of you, the women. You came early in the morning and you are still here, you are so patient. We appreciate you. South Africa have seen you today on the TV. They have seen how disciplined you are and how appreciative you are of the fact that your public representatives are coming to you. Let me really thank you very much for being here and for participating in our program. We also want to thank first of all, the provincial government for the fact that they were prepared to work with us. And particularly, we want to express our appreciation to the Speaker of the Legislature, the Commissioner of the Commission on Gender Equality, the Chairperson of Finance and Fiscal Commission with all her staff that accompanied her. We want to express our appreciation. We are sending Nandi Shongwe to actually express our appreciation to the provincial government, to those from local government. People, if you see the people are not taking you serious, let them take you serious. Show them they should take you serious. We are taking you very serious. That's why we are here. People must take you serious. So we want to express, and particularly our appreciation to our local speaker also, that is here with us, the chairperson of our women's multi-party women's caucus, all the members of the provincial legislature as well as parliament, and in particularly the NCOP. We want to express our appreciation to you, to the teams of parliament that are making this a success by doing advance work for the mobilization, but also for the preparation. under the leadership of Dr. Mvulane, that is the manager in the office of the Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, as well as the teams, the different teams, communications with all the different people that they are working with, our security and VIP services, and also the service providers that are here, our catering staff that are assisting the service providers, the language practitioners, people, daar is baie slim mense laat ek Afrikaans praat. Sure, just to listen to someone and to be able to interpret what that person has said, translate. Julle is te slim loop, ek wil ook uit tale leer. But also for our sign language practitioners, I've noticed that sign language practitioners get very tired because it's so intense to do it all the time. But I don't know who I have actually not mentioned, but to everyone that contributed to the success of this day, thank you very much. And we hope to see you again. But I want to respond to the person that said, we come and we never come back. On Sally terugkom. Because you are not the only people that we must go to. From here, we must go to other places. Yes, we must go to, we cannot come to you always. We must go to other places. You've got the local councillors. Het julle die Bybel gelees? Hoe het hulle vir die ryk man gesê? Hulle het die profete daarso. Hoekom moet Lazarus uit die hemel uitgaan en vir hulle gaan sê? So you've got the prophets here. They must serve you, and they must serve you properly. When we come, you will tell us if they haven't served you properly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just one announcement. I have requested them to not make you stand all in the sun in the queue for food. I am requesting that the security services must assist us. Then we start at the back, 2 rows at a time. You just pass there at the gate, you get your food. And thank you very much.
Leli lizwe elamakhosikazi.
Tšeelala, tšheeletšang baešo. Ke nako ya go ja kere. Le ska le letšatšing. Dulang fase. Ka mokana ga lena o mongwe le o mongwe a dutšeng gona, dulang fase. Le ska ya ka ntle go a fiša. Ba tlo le tlišetša dijo gona mo le dutšeng fase. Ba tlo thoma ko morago kwa. Tšheeletšang. Ba tlo lefa dijo go thoma ko morago. Ba e tla soko pele a kere. Ko morago ko a le nyake o jana. E le nyaka dijo dulang fase ba tle ba kgone go lefa dijo gabotse di dutše fase. Re a leboga.
Give me the document. Yeah. Tell her it's fine.
Can you please check in the van if they're getting the mics?
TV channel 408. Please remember to follow us on Parliament social media platforms at Parliament of RSA. Madam, you are not rolling. Come more green, more roller that green. Yeah.
Right.
But I'll just. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome back. You are still watching Parliament TV on DSTV channel 408. Please remember to follow us on Parliament social media platforms at Parliament of RSA. We've just witnessed a very informative session where feedback was given by the three spheres of government and presentations by Commission for Gender Equality and Financial and Fiscal Commission. Women were also given an opportunity to raise their issues and recommendations for the advancement of women. My name is still Shelley Muntu. To unpack this further, I am now joined by Commissioner Ntuli Tlaubatla, Commission for Gender Equality, who just presented about progress made in the institutionalizing of gender mainstreaming across line departments and districts and prevailing socio-economic challenges across the province. Ma'am, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
We had a very beautiful session, we must say.
Definitely.
Yes. My first issue is, can you just summarize what you were presenting to the ladies?
Yes. Basically, whatever work that we do as a Commission for Gender Equality, we are guided by our constitutional mandate, which is located in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act 108 of 1996. We are a state institution supporting constitutional democracy. We are the watchdogs, and we are only accountable to the law and the Constitution. Basically, towards issues of gender mainstreaming, gender transformation, gender discrimination, gender equity, and gender equality, we are guided by that constitutional mandate that says we promote, we protect, irrespect for gender equality. Basically, it's around a total attainment of gender equality. And as a commission also, we understand one thing, that we come from a past where there are so many imbalances that were there. We also come from a past where even the socio-economic challenges that we experience right now, they were there even as early as in the 50s. When you talk about inequalities, women are leading. You talk about poverty, there is feminization of poverty because women are leading. Unemployment, it's women. Underemployment, it's women. That poses as a challenge, but also in our work as a Commission for Gender Equality, guided by our annual performance plan with clear strategic objectives. We also work towards the advancement of persons with disabilities and also of young people, because they also have a share towards the issues of economic empowerment, social empowerment, economic empowerment in general. But as I was unpacking the issues around ECGE, the concern that we have, that I must say, is issue of implementation of policies. We've got very good policies as South Africa. We are hailed as a country that has the best policies in the world. Look at our constitution, our founding principles, chapter 1, chapter 2, our Bill of Rights, equality and human dignity. Chapter 3, we talk about cooperative governance and interdepartmental. Basically, I'm saying our constitution also is giving it guidance. It goes up to even chapter 14 of the constitution, where it talks about general principles, our relationships with the international world and so on. It is an implementing tool on its own, our constitutions, and towards the advancement of gender equality. I'm quoting this and other policies because part of our work as the Commission for Gender Equality is policy analysis. We have the power to propose bills. It's a whole lot. Look now, let's take Mpumalanga for an example. They are not meeting their employment equity target. And the Employment Equity Act number 55 of 1998, it's very clear what needs to be done. And it sets a minimum of at least 50%. When it comes to persons with disabilities, the Employment Equity Act is very clear. It says at least a minimum of 2%. And other institutions, both in the private and public sector, they would say, no, We are not succeeding because women are not capacitated. Women are not educated enough. That is not true. Women are well able, assertive, and well capacitated. But in an event where you see that a particular woman needs more capacity to advance, we have the Skills Development Act number 66 of 1998, which has a responsibility of skilling and the reskilling of the workforce. For gender-based violence, which is escalating, issues of patriarchy, masculinity, lack of economic empowerment for women is some of our triggers for gender-based violence. We have the Gender-Based Violence Act. We have the Domestic Violence Act. Actually, our answers and our solutions lies within the legislations. Hence, as we implement, as the Commission for Gender Equality, we are guided by our act, which is the CGE Act number 39 of 1996. We have all the answers. Implementation remains a challenge. Let's implement these legislations.
I don't know, ma'am, because this has been long. You're talking about 1998 and even probably beyond there, like before what you said, that, you know, these issues or the issues about women have been discussed, you know, for so long. When are women going to be reaching that very target? But I don't want to go out of our discussion. You explained gender mainstreaming so simply in the hall to the women and how that can be applied. And I want you to explain that that simplicity, because probably most of our leaders or the department or us do not understand it the way you explained it today. Hence, lack of impact.
Yes.
As well as I will follow up with the issue of how then do you monitor this to happen or to be implemented, as well as as a commission, do you have teeth, and to what extent?
Yeah, I'll answer the one on the teeth. On the issue of gender mainstreaming, the thing with people both in the private sector and public sector, they overthink the concept. They overemphasize the concept, and then they come with bombastic words that are not leading to any impact or outcome. You know, when you say gender mainstreaming, we are just saying put everything to the mainstream. How do you put everything to the mainstream? You have EHR as a directorate. There are positions that are out, junior managers, middle managers, and senior managers. In being guided by your employment equity plan, you start to redress women, disabilities, and persons with disabilities. How do you redress? You say, out of these 20 positions, 15 I'm advancing women, this particular number, persons with disabilities, just as an example. Also on issues of supply chain management, you address the equity. It's all about addressing issue equality, which is the destination you want to arrive at. How do we do it? We do it through gender mainstreaming and gender equity. For example, the supply chain, there are budgets, there are procurement opportunities that are guided by the Preferential Procurement Act of 2000 and its related matters. What's happening there? It's clear Uguti redress and how it should be done. So both the public and private sector, what they need to do is to say, let's empower the youth. Let's empower persons with disabilities. Let us empower women. How do they do that? You go now to the concept of gender responsive budgeting as a strategic tool for you to do gender mainstreaming with an element of finance and economic empowerment. The list goes on. That's how you mainstream all your directorates
Yes.
Yes.
And on the issue of TIP, yes, we do have TIP. We are a big watchdog as the Commission for Gender Equality. You go to our website, www.cge.org.za. You will learn more about us. You will see our work on Ugutwala. You will see our work on virginity testing, female genital mutilation. You will see our work there. We launched an ERAP report, Emergency Response Action Plan, in 2020 as it responds to gender-based violence and femicide. We recently in June launched the SAPS report, where we had oversight visits in the country, the 9 provinces. We were monitoring intensely, monitoring police stations, victim-friendly rooms. We did oversight visits. We were monitoring the Tutuzela care centers. So our website, it's loaded with reports. It's loaded with research. It's loaded with evidence-based information, well-researched, that indicates that the Commission has teeth.
Yes.
And beautiful teeth, by the way, but they bite.
Yes, they bite.
Yes.
And then, let's talk about then the marriage between Commission for Gender Equality and the Women's Charter, especially with regards. I love it because the deputy chairperson, who's the leader, invites you into this to speak to women as a watchdog, so that in this oversight process and public participation, you are there to report and guide the women and the larger public.
Yes. You know, when we reported on what Mpumalanga province has done in line with the Women's Charter, when we were planning as an office, our planning started with a comparative study of international commitments, because we were analyzing and assessing the relevance of the Women's Charter towards the emancipation of women. Then you compare it versus the SDGs, the 17, as adopted in 2016. They align to the Women's Charter. You go to Beijing Platform of Action, the 12 critical areas of concern, they align to the Charter. So is the Maputo Protocol of 2003 and the SADC Gender Protocols of 2008. They all draw their strength to the Women's Charter of 1954. Coming straight to the Charter, what is the Charter talking about? It has 12 articles. I'll just mention a few. There's an article on media, there's an article on education and training, there's an article on infrastructure, there's an article on violence, there's an article on culture and tradition. So the report now, Mpumalanga province, presented today here as a Women's Charter, we responded to all the 12 articles of the Women's Charter. We have done great work as being guided by the Charter. Like for culture, for an example, we reported on what we did with the House of Traditional Leaders, with Ama Kosigati. When we were reporting about, for example, violence targeting women, we spoke about the Saps that I've just spoken about. And somewhere we were reporting on health. So we make an overview or an introduction of a new baby, which is a brainchild of all the commissioners in the Commission for Gender Equality, which is monitoring of wards, maternity wards in the province. Because remember, who are the people that are using, and if there are vulnerabilities within our wards, it's women that suffer. Our basic approach is around the postnatal, gynecology ward, labor ward, all the different wards that deals with maternity ward. So we have a toolkit that has been developed, and it's a work in progress also in that regard, but we are hands-on as the Commission for Gender Equality on issues. So basically I'm trying to prove, Uti, we are implementing and our programs and projects as guided by our mandate, speak to the Women's Charter. The Women's Charter is a relevant tool towards the empowerment of women.
And ma'am, before I leave you,
yes.
we are learning. Do you ever, do you do road shows with women? How are you known across the province and maybe across the country? Or what are your key or your main projects for women around the country?
Yes, around the country we do a lot of work. We do legal clinics. Remember when I was reporting about the article that deals with law and administration, I mentioned the issue of us doing legal clinics in our communities, because we feel that if communities are empowered legally and about their rights, they will know what to do and how to do it. We also do a lot in the community as the Commission for Gender Equality, where we can provide evidence that we did gender mainstreaming workshops with around our municipalities. We've done our investigative hearings as the Commission for Gender Equality through our institutions of higher learning, because we were concerned about gender-based violence and femicide. You go to our